HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Celtics didn't have Jaylen Brown last night, but they still completed a sweep of their 6-game road trip and won their 9th in a row overall, 117-103 in Memphis. Al Horford scored 26 points for the Green.
Well, I mean, I'm always just trying to make the right play, and the right play tonight was for me to, to shoot it. And if I don't have the shot, obviously find one of my teammates. But it was great.
Jason Tatum had 25 points and 14 rebounds for the Celtics. John Morant had 26 for the Grizzlies. The Celtics will be back home tomorrow night to play Miami. The Red Sox last night signed new lefty ace Garrett Crochet to a 6-year, $170 million contract extension. There's an opt-out after year 5, but it keeps him in Boston through the 2030 season at the least. That's the good news. The bad news is that before he signed the contract, the Red Sox were down 4-0 after the first inning in Baltimore and lost their 4th in a row, 8-5 to the Orioles. Jarren Duran, 2 hits and 3 RBIs to lead the Sox offense. Same two teams to play again at Camden Yards tonight. Bruins will try to end an 8-game losing streak when they return home to play the Washington Capitals this evening. Charlie McAvoy was skating without a red non-contact jersey at practice yesterday, but there's still no timetable for his return. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Alex Ovechkin comes to town 4 goals short of tying Wayne Gretzky for the NHL career record. And Boston College star wing and Hobie Baker Award candidate Ryan Leonard has signed an entry-level contract with Washington. He will be with the team tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT loading up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag!
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you, and I think you know that.
Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Right? Yeah! Star! Sweet nectar.
We're live.
Hey! Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us live on YouTube. There was an issue with the YouTube show yesterday that has been rectified. So we could take care of it. It just was painstaking and taken care of. Hardy was just telling me, it's funny because I just got an email yesterday, and it says, Fred, I'm trying to keep you in touch with what's hot on the streets. A fellow by the name of Mitch Laffin, who learned that the knee of Eddie Trunk is the next in line to keep the scene alive with breaking tidbits like this. Keep a fast eye on this cat. And Matt Laffin on apparently Facebook says, over on my Facebook, Striper's Michael Sweet has been taking in the Bruce Hall / Kevin Cronin Ario Speedwagon public punch counterpunch argument and offered the following reply. Now, Matthew Sweet, it's very long. Matthew Sweet just says, hey, look, this is one of my favorite bands. They always will be. Like, who's right, who's wrong, who's to say.
Right.
But I bring this up because...
Do you think like readers of that and the people who follow this need any catching up on if you're just explaining the latest salvo that was fired in this back and forth between these two? Do you think most people are already up on it?
Someone has to curate this material. It's not just... Not everyone follows Michael Sweet, or if they do, or Matthew Sweet, sorry. from Stryper, the Christian heavy metal band.
Not
and,
to be confused with Matthew Sweet, the
Gonna get emails.
90s.
one-hit wonder, yes.
Two.
Yeah,
He had a stroke. He was very sick, Fred.
Oh, geez. I wish I liked his music more. So, the deal is this. I mean, once someone dies or gets sick, I mean, all of a sudden everything they've done is you have to like creatively.
I'm not going to get you away from this, but I will just say I've long been on record. Adam 12 can probably back me up on this. Girlfriend is one of my favorite albums.
Tremendous,
of the 90s.
tremendous album.
Tremendous album.
A little before my time.
It is.
In
By a
radio.
couple of years.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. So I will tell you this, is that the reason I bring this up is not to praise Eddie Trunk,
No.
who for 2 hours every day will rank the best, best live albums. Is it Aerosmith's live bootleg? Is it Kiss Alive? But there's some debate because that's not really live. And what Eddie gets to do is Eddie goes to Japan. Eddie Trunk, I call him Eddie. He goes to, like, when Hagar, he's touring Japan. Eddie's touring Japan with Hagar. When there's a rock and roll cruise where Tammy Down from Faster Pussycat, did you hear his fiance threw herself off the boat on the heavy metal cruise and that Eddie Trunk was at?
Was she rescued, or was that the
She
end?
was
for her?
not. That was the end for
Oh
her.
my!
And so, tragedy can strike on these cruises, but Eddie Trunk, that's kind of how he makes his living, is he's the kind of the spokesman for keeping the scene alive, the hair metal scene, that rock and roll scene. But Eddie's influence ends at about 1990. Mm-hmm. Now, who, as we move into the into the 2020s, is going to take be to the 90s what Eddie Trunk was to the 80s, or is to the 80s? Eddie Trunk is a man in his 60s. Well, an entree has been made to our own Rob Hardy pool.
Right here.
Wow. Now, Adam, don't get too jealous about this, but you have been offered what?
I received an email yesterday. Hardy, this is blah, blah, blah. I book the 90s cruise. I'm attaching a firm offer for you to join us on the cruise in January 2026. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to jump on a phone call to discuss. Thank you. Now, I attempted, and it all looked legit. I mean, it was, like a real email from a real email address. I checked out the name of the company this guy was emailing from. I'm like, huh. And it wasn't, it totally caught me by surprise. But a couple of these cruises just happened over the last couple of months. And some of the people that also work on satellite were hosts on this cruise.
Yes.
Kat Corbett, who used to be a DJ here in Boston. 12, you know her.
Absolutely. Worked with her at WFNX.
She was a K-Rock DJ for years, Fred, out in L.A. Just a couple other random people. I'm like, oh, this is probably a real thing. I go to click on the offer, and, like, the file was corrupted. So I emailed him back, and he's like, so sorry, something screwed up on our end. I'll get you a revised one in the morning. So he did attach a link to the 90s cruise. So, two questions here. Number one, who do you think is on this 90s cruise? And also, what do you think the offer will be for me to join them on the 90s cruise?
All right, so I guess Smash Mouth, even though their singer's dead.
I don't want you. Hold on. Don't look at my screen.
Okay,
No, I'm not.
I'll go Third Eye Blind.
Okay.
Semisonic.
That's a good guess, John.
Eve
Sometimes,
6.
yes.
No.
Not semisonic?
You need to first.
No closing time?
We've gone pop alternative so far. Is that what we? Is that what the
he's
problem
about
is
to
here?
give a hint.
I'm
so
gonna
let
give
him
you
talk.
hints. There are. Oh wait, did someone say Smash Mouth?
I did.
Okay.
With the dead lead singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Smash Mouth. So is Smash Mouth one of the lead bands?
I mean, this
the middle
isn't-
of the.
Okay, there are like 11 artists listed here. We could have a whole conversation as to who the headliner should be.
Okay. All right.
So, and I will.
Sugar Ray.
Fred Toucher.
He's locked in.
Yeah,
All right.
you got to think real bad, but like had a hit.
Yeah.
There are, okay, 11 artists. And first of all, one host already confirmed, Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh, that's kind of cool. You get to work with Downtown Julie Brown.
Okay.
So one host already confirmed. You have to think outside of alternative or even pop alternative. There are a couple of here that are just, pop 90s acts.
Oh, okay.
All right, but you are spot on so far with Sugar Ray and Smash Mouth.
Fastball?
Oh, good guess, but incorrect. I'm sorry. There we go. Incorrect.
Fastball would have been good. Anybody from Lollapalooza in this tour?
No.
On this boat?
No.
I don't
Like
think
Liz Fair or something like that?
No.
So pop outside of alternative.
Like a pop band.
Yeah.
What was a pop band?
Artist.
The Rembrandts. They sang the Friends theme.
That's not,
They might have too much money.
R&B.
They made a lot of money.
Like pop R&B.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can't do
Color Me Bad?
Great guess, incorrect.
Jamiroquai.
No, way too hip.
Okay.
There's an artist here who had a couple of movies. This duo performed in a couple of movies.
Kid and Play?
Oh, there you go, John Wallach.
Well, I mean, you're skating my side of the
Sugar Ray
street.
Smash Mouth, Kid and Play.
Vanilla Ice.
No.
Is anything hip-hop flavored, or is it more pop?
Well, Kid and Play.
Kid and Play's
yeah,
a-
right.
There's okay. There's one here that you'll never get. So I'll tell you. Maxi Priest and DJ Cool. All right.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. That's probably a DJ.
Maxi Priest had a bang with Shabba Ranks.
How about an alternative band? Some would call them a one-hit wonder. They're really two hits. Out of Detroit, and their second hit was a song that they claimed had nothing to do with the movie 16 Candles, even though
16. Oh, Sponge.
Very good. Known for their songs Plowed and Molly.
Sponge wasn't the worst band.
No, they were
No,
all right.
Sponge pretty good.
That album was Rotting Pinata had those songs on it. It was
Fly? The Flies?
Flies.
No, oh God, I would love the Flies. They
You have
did
history with them.
They did one of the best live performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, they were really cool. They were actually really nice.
They were nice guys.
Fred, did you guess 311?
Okay, so there were
No, they're way too big.
So-
no, I'm not joking.
No,
they're way too
they
big.
would
Smash
have their own.
Smash Mouth. Unfortunately, they do their own cruise now.
Yeah, what's that?
The 311 does their own cruise now. Instead of a 311 day, they do a 311 cruise.
Yeah, they're too. They have too
That's
big a
on me,
fan
I'm
base.
sorry.
All right, Smash Mouth, unfortunately missing one. Their lead singer. There's another like R&B 90s group also missing. Unfortunately, one of their members. 3 of them. I don't know how they continue on without this person, but they do.
Oh,
I had said it earlier. TLC.
Oh, I didn't know you said that.
Oh, nice.
Too many guesses coming in at once. TLC, Sugar Ray, Smash Mouth, Sponge, DJ Cool, Maxi Priest, Kid and Play. I don't. Would anyone ever guess En Vogue?
no, this is
okay.
all over the place.
No.
Really
All right,
is.
2 more alternative bands, though. Fred, there's one here that you mention a lot. One of these bands that I don't know why you played them. I don't know why we played them in Vegas. You played them in Atlanta. They were insisted upon
Okay.
in the
Fuel?
90s. Yes, very good.
Wow.
Fred's on fire this
Jewel.
morning.
Jewel now does Hallmark movies.
Who?
Jewel now does Hallmark movies.
She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
and
one
the other
more.
one's an alternative band.
Another alternative
So
band out
Sugar
of
Ray, Sponge is such an outlier in this. Okay, so Sugar Ray, Smash Mouth, Fuel, 3 Doors Down is too big.
a pretty, I mean, a one-hit wonder for sure, but a decent band, nice guys. They had one big song that Norm Macdonald made a joke about.
Not
Better Than Ezra.
Fred Toucher, you know what?
You got like 5 of them, 6 of them in
more.
there?
Yeah. Fred was, man.
Really, really good.
So what's the offer look like?
I don't know. They're gonna resend the offer later today, but that was Fred and I were already debating. So I'm guessing, and this is at the most, a free room on the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of like food and drink plan
Stipend type
included.
of thing.
I'm guessing airfare will not be included to get me down to wherever this.
Yeah. Where's it? Shoving off from.
Tampa, Nassau, Key West is what it says here. January 25th through the 30th.
Oh my God, what a terrible.
What?
Wait, did you say 25th through the 30th?
January 25th through the 30th.
That's like what? 6 days?
Yeah.
Wait, so it leaves from Tampa, it goes to Key West and then the Bahamas? That's like as bad as it can get. That's like a really bad.
And like, are these bands playing multiple sets, or is it like each night you get like 2 bands?
All right, listen, jerk
yeah.
faces. On Sunday, you leave Tampa. So awesome. You get to stay, sometime in Tampa.
Yeah.
You're at sea on Monday. On Tuesday, you land in Nassau. On Wednesday, you're already over in Key West. The 5th day, also at sea. And then on the 6th day, you return to Tampa. So Tampa, around the Horn of Florida, so to speak.
Yes.
You get down to Nassau, hit Key West on the way back, and boom.
Is
That's
it
how you do
what boat line is it?
Oh, you want to know about the ship?
Yeah.
The Celebrity Constellation.
It's not so bad. All right. It's gonna start with like free, like you said, it's gonna start with like free meals in a free room.
Yeah.
They're gonna like get you in with that, like you would want to go on the cruise anyway.
Yeah.
You'd probably, because downtown Julie Brown would do the like headliner things. You'd probably be doing like pool parties and stuff. Maybe $1,000 they might offer you for the 5 days.
Oh, have a nice end of January, boys. I'm gone.
Yeah, and the people on the cruise is probably people you want to hang out with too.
Yes, exactly.
I wonder if they can fill the whole boat. I've always been interested about that because there was a cruise with Flogging Molly and the Descendants, and it was like a big boat. And I'm like, obviously they didn't sell out that boat. Like, there's no way they sold out, 2,000 rooms, wherever the hell the thing is on one of those boats. So, well, at least I wouldn't think so. So I wonder if like you're like a person who got on a cruise and that just happens to be going on the cruise that you're on. Like you go to the pool and, the Bouncing Souls are playing or something. It would be kind of weird. I guess it would be kind of fun, even if you didn't know because you drink it and everything. I don't know.
So I'll definitely be placing a call to Kat Corbett later today to find out about her experience. But I think maybe she was on like a more alternative centric cruise because the one that she was on was Everclear, Lit, Jim Blossoms, oh my God, Lisa Loeb, Jesus Jones, Collective Soul. Yeah, that's like all alternative.
Oh, the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like you are the Eddie Trunk of the 90s. That position is open because it's certainly not downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah.
She was on that cruise. I think Julie Brown probably makes a pretty, decent living just, hosting things like that.
I'm sure she subsidizes whatever income she has by hosting these things.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not embedded like Eddie Trunk, who worked for Megaforce Records when he was a teenager. I mean, this guy has got credentials. He's talked to Jake E. Lee since the dog attack while he was, or since he was attacked while walking his dog at 3 o'clock in Vegas.
I have a quick question, Fred. Is Trunk seen in that community as a booster, and is he comes on these cruises and he's treated with respect and he's brought along, or is he like the Jim Gray of that scene where he just kind of is there and people are just like, we put up with him?
I've always been interested why people bring in Eddie Trunk, like what that brings to the table, like why he needs to be there.
I think about that too.
But I think that a lot of it is his relationship with the artists, and maybe they need any kind of like publicity they can get, and maybe even Eddie's show is enough. I don't know. Like being on Hair and A. I don't know. Satellite's kind of given up. They signed the 2 podcasts and then they kind of folded things. That stock's doing as bad as any radio stock. All right. Well, according to Nick, someone went on a Rick Springfield cruise.
Springfield.
Well, not Rick Springfield, Rick Springsfield.
Oh.
Okay.
Cruise. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll catch you up with everything that happened last night.
Can we talk to the Springsfield guy first, though?
I mean, it's just about the Basketball Hall of Fame, I'd imagine, on the sea. All right. We'll be right back.
The Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And Hardy, what happened last evening? I got to tell you this, though. I'm sorry. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Celtics finished off their 6-game road trip last night and did something never before done in Celtics history. What did they do, Fred?
They won 6 games on the road in a row.
Oh, I thought, why'd you do some prep this morning?
First 6-0 road trip ever.
Watch the pregame with our man Chris Forsberg.
Okay.
I like how they stand very far apart.
Yeah.
On the floor. And then for some reason, Eddie House is in a gaming chair somewhere that's not the studio.
Right.
It's funny. It's so obvious that it's a gaming chair, too.
Yeah.
There's no bones about it. Like, when they had Perkins, he was sitting on some kind of throne in the corner of. When you have Eddie House, the back of the chair is bigger than him by a lot. It's weird. The whole thing is strange.
It looks comfy.
And he had, for some reason, a framed uniform of his off to the side.
Is one of you guys talking to Ben? Because it says on air.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. There's some sort of glitch happening in here.
Benjamin?
Are you taking him live now?
No. I just was. It says on air.
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm sorry. That's very distracting to a host. Get on it. All right. Very good. Go ahead.
Oh, no, we won't move on until that's rectified.
I just saw the on air thing, and I said, "It's
silence.
Benjamin."
All right, so, yes, the Celtics have never before swept a 6-game road trip, which I find fascinating. All the years of dominance. Now,
Well, I'm guessing that's more, John, a result of, I should say, not playing 6-game road trips.
Yes. I think that is probably close to the truth.
what would the old standard have been? Like no more than 4 or 5?
4 or 5. Yeah, the last 5-0 road trip was in the early 70s, though. So, there's something to be said about this.
Well, in the 60s, you figure that they couldn't play 6 games in a row because there was too much smoke and not enough people in the arena. They had to air out the arena after every game because if you watch old Celtics highlights of those great teams, there was about a dozen people all smoking. And that was in the stands. They would draw about a dozen people.
The old Boston Garden, if you went there, you weren't allowed to smoke while you were in your seat, but you were allowed to smoke in the tunnels behind
because
the
that's
upper deck.
better for smoke.
So the smoke just kind of hung out top of the building.
No, but it is interesting. When I did the book signings with Bob Ryan, just there was no one at those games because people like the Bruins, but no one went to the Celtics games. So if you look at highlights, it's empty.
If you look, there's a video there of Tommy Heinsohn raising a championship banner, and the building's empty.
Yeah.
It's like they had just won the championship. It wasn't a packed house, and the argument was, they did it before the game. They did it before the game without fans in there? Either way is bad.
So anyway, I would imagine, before
they didn't want to be cocky.
Like when they were traveling commercial, I don't know how many 6-game road trips they did, but regardless, it's very impressive.
It's very impressive. And who do you think? Let's see how much you prepped. Who was the leading scorer last night?
The leading scorer last night.
No Jaylen Brown last night.
No, Porzingis.
If you were listening to the update, I would have told you.
Oh, it was this guy.
Tatum against Williams. Tatum puts it on the floor, left-hand dribble, steps around and finds Horford all alone under the basket, and he beats the buzzer, going old school off the window.
Quickly.
How about a 20-point night for Al Horford off the bench?
26 he finished with last night. And a record broken by Derek White.
Derek White, left-hand dribble, on the wing, now against Zach Edey. He's going to pull up, shoot the three, got it! And Derek White is the all-time single-season three-point champion for the Boston Celtics. And he does it in the fourth quarter to give the Celtics their largest lead.
What, John?
In a season where they've been so good, everyone's just marking time till the playoffs. And you can't blame Sean for this because, TV did the same thing. That record might have been mentioned once or twice during the broadcast. By that, I mean 10 times in the first half. This could be the record breaker. He only has 1 3 tonight. Meanwhile, the game is going on, and that's all they're discussing because that was all there was to discuss.
What else are you going to talk about in a win over the Grizzlies? Yeah. I'm surprised. who held the record for him? It wasn't Ray Allen, was it?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so there you go. Celtics with a record-breaking win in more ways than one, 117-103 over the Memphis Grizzlies. They will now return home and finally get us to closer and closer to the postseason. They have, I believe, 8 games left? 7?
56 and 19, so 7 left.
Okay, there we go. They'll be home against Miami, Phoenix, and Washington. That'll get us through the weekend.
By the way, no Kevin Durant, I don't think, for Phoenix when they get here on Friday. He sprained an ankle. So, yeah, 3 winning games there. Yep.
Yeah, I would think so. All right. So there we go. Moving right along, Red Sox yesterday trying to right the ship as they opened up a new set against the Orioles. They won their first game. They won the season opener last week against the Rangers, then proceeded to lose 3 in a row. How would things go yesterday against Baltimore?
He's trying to figure it out. Nobody wants to go through this. Listen, the whole DH thing, I think we're way past that now. Now he's trying to get ready and be the hitter that he is. 0 for 18, 14 strikeouts. Nobody wants to go through this. He's working pregame to try to change something out to get a feel.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes again. 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts. It boggles the mind, frankly.
Yeah, no one wants to go through that.
That would be Rafael Devers.
He doesn't want to go through this.
Holy crap.
I was listening to the radio yesterday, and there were people speculating he was doing this on purpose, and to which I would say, capital job. It's a good way to make money in this world, is to go over and not even make contact at any point.
Did you see any of this game, Fred?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
Very little. Yeah.
You watch Devers hit. You can see him thinking. He's so far deep inside his head at this point. He'll come out of it.
Walk in the 9th.
But yeah, he's like 8 miles in front of breaking balls and late on fastballs. He has no chance. No chance. At this point.
He is really out of shape, and if he was hurt with that shoulder and couldn't properly work out in the offseason, they might have to send him down at some point just to get him at bats. I mean, if he's going to be a liability and have to get back into playing shape, they can't have him on the major league roster. I mean, they got to send him down and get him right. And I know that it's not as easy as that, and I know that with his contract and everything, it's not that simple. But I mean, if you could designate him with injury and then kind of like send him down,
they're going to have to, in order to do that. It
Yeah,
won't
you have
be
to
a straight
put him-
outrage. He's got a hamstring, or he's got a back strain or something like that, and then we need to send him for rehab.
No, I know you can't just send him to that. You can't option him to the minors, but you could. Yeah, they would have to say, well, shoulder. Just say his shoulder's hurt and get him right in the minors.
Not repaired yet. He didn't get it right in spring training, so he needs extra time. Something like that. I agree. It's awful to watch because
Cora doesn't sound worried though.
There was one swing in the last at bat that I was like, okay, we're getting there. The foul ball to left field. He was behind the ball, and he actually got the barrel to it. Good at bat too. He walked. Yeah, the strikeouts are up there, but the one thing I and we'll find it mechanically. The good thing is that he's not chasing pitches. He's swinging at pitches in the zone.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the whole team's striking out at an incredible rate. And if you heard Jim Rice in the pregame, he went, well, that's what happens when you try to put the ball in the air every time. You put the ball in the air every time. So there is a new – so it's funny that the Red Sox are all hell-bent on this thing, and they told Rice to go screw because the Cardinals, who I just follow, so this is the reason I'm bringing them up, they have a strategy that is not – they're going against the launch angle thing, and that they have their lineup set up kind of old school. They have guys – the first 3 guys in the lineup are based on how many pitches they generally see and their ability to get on base. The 4, 5, and 6 slots are all guys, swing and miss guys, but guys with a lot of power. And then contact hitters at 7, 8, and 9.
That's wild because Major League Baseball has now gone all the way in the opposite direction. Your best hitter usually hits second now. Aaron Judge, more than more
I think
than half the
Ohtani
time
hit
on his
second.
Ohtani's a leadoff hitter for
leadoff hitters,
the Dodgers. I mean, that's the thing. And the theory is get your best hitters the most at-bats. So it's not balanced like it has been for 50 years. Everyone's like, all right, stack the top of the order and then worry about it. Rob Refsnyder, I think, was a cleanup hitter yesterday for the Red Sox.
Yes, he was. And
that's the thing.
And it's funny because, it's been 4 games, but it's been working there because they don't have a tremendous amount of talent. That's what the strategy is, to kind of like get back to it. And you just remember watching baseball back in the day. If you had guys at the top of the order that like could get 8 pitch at bats, 8-9 pitch at bats, how frustrating that was for the other team.
20 years ago, that 04 championship team for the Red Sox, Johnny Damon was a master at that. He averaged seeing 5, 6, 7 pitches in at bat. Now, you could say what he wanted. He didn't have any power, but he ran, and that was the staple. A leadoff hitter that saw a lot of pitches that could run, and that's over with. That never happens anymore.
If you're playing a series, too, that's what's odd to me is that you would want to get to their bullpen, and you'd want to tire the bullpen out because that gives you an advantage later in this series. Not just playing one-off games. It's very strange to me.
I'm wondering, is there any thought given to Ohtani batting leadoff? And I understand, the changing of the thought process in terms of, like what guys hit where. But at least once a game, you're assured he's going to have the most time ready on days that he's pitching to have some time after his at-bat before he has to go to the mound?
Yeah.
I think that he's
know.
I thought the argument was going to make is that he's also super fast.
He stole 50 bases last year.
Yeah. And it's not like he is a big swing and miss guy either. Like Ohtani, I could see leading off. Like Ohtani's not like swinging out of his shoes. He's not like Rob Deere or something. Like he's not a guy who's boom or bust. Ohtani can. Right. Ohtani's arguably the best hitter in baseball. Well, they have top 3. So like he makes more. The reason that you would say that Ohtani shouldn't lead off is kind of what you're saying, though, is that Ohtani is such a great hitter. You want to hit it with guys on base, but Ohtani's not ridiculous. He's a great athlete. He doesn't hit for a low average, and he just happens to have a lot of power.
But yeah, it's interesting. He's a unicorn, but if you just look at his power numbers, he's a shift towards modern day baseball.
Yeah,
like the Yankees have a catcher, Austin Wells, and they had Goldschmidt lead off the other day. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they had Goldschmidt. I don't even know the reasoning for having Goldschmidt lead off because he's terrible.
Well,
I don't.
He is now. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why he's leading off, but there you go. But it is interesting. There's a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah.
And a very happy Jim Rice, who was told by the analytics company that to get away from the hitters because he didn't know what he was talking about. They don't want them hitting line drives, which I do find very, very interesting.
Yeah, Rice, when he played, he was a line drive ground ball hitter. I mean, he on top of his great power numbers, he also led the league more than once, I think, in hitting into double plays because he's hit a bullet, but right at somebody with runners on base.
Was he? And I don't take it he was overly fast.
No.
So
no.
We would be remiss.
Yeah,
if
Ohtani. I know it's early in the season, but he's hitting 333. I mean, Ohtani's a freak.
Yeah.
We got to mention the biggest story of the night from last night.
And the Connecticut Huskies are headed to a record 24th Final Four.
All right, over under. How much time to lead off Sports Center did the ESPN use to celebrate the women's basketball championship?
The answer to that is 15 minutes, at least on the radio side. And I can tell you 5 of that was Scott Van Pelt talking to Gino
Auriemma.
Yeah. I take great pride in not knowing how to pronounce his name. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Last year was beautiful. Everyone paid attention. Not one person's paying attention this year. I mean, outside of, again, Stores, Connecticut and Knoxville, Tennessee and places like that. South Carolina, Columbia. Is it Columbia, South Carolina, where South Carolina is?
I want to say yes for fear of being wrong. I'm not sure.
My point is that, listen, you can dominate all these, 200 to 150 to 200 ranked markets.
UCLA is in the Final Four. How many people in Los Angeles are paying attention?
No. They don't pay. They don't pay attention to the Kings. They don't pay attention to the football teams. They pay attention to the Lakers and the Dodgers. That's what they pay attention to in LA. And then if you're a transplant, you are a super annoying fan of your team. That's what they do in Los Angeles. However, Dodger Stadium is a real jewel. It's an underappreciated jewel.
Always wanted to go. Never had a chance to.
It's very hard to get to, but it's a fantastic place to see a baseball game. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. Hardy.
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Yeah, where you can't understand what anyone's saying.
But it all sounds so charming.
It really does. There was a swing there where I saw the Pyromania tour, the Defenders of the Faith tour of Judas Priest. I saw that the day before 5th grade, and I took my mom's isotoner gloves and I cut the knuckles out and cut the fingers out.
Yeah, right.
And I wore those. And then in my last day of 5th grade, I had bought another sleeveless shirt, and it was a Judas Priest shirt with the moon and Rob Halford driving his motorcycle through the moon.
What'd your mom have to say when she saw the gloves?
I think that I was given. I don't recall them getting upset. The one thing they got very upset about with me when I was a little kid is I saw a cartoon where they were drawing mustaches on everything. So I went around the house and I drew mustaches on all the pictures, and my mom had a big freak out. That I do remember.
Well, that's a move. You could put the saran wrap on your TV and draw the mustache on it, and then you put a soap opera on, and sometimes the mustache lands on someone's face in a funny way.
Or you put a derby and a cigar on the side window of your car, and then you go and you make them drive right next to you, or they're ruining it.
Was it Citi Field did that last year on their jumbotron? They did the driving crooner.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. What can I tell you? All right, Hardy, is there anything else from last night or no?
Yeah, from late last night, somebody obviously catching up on the show. I'm a huge fan of the show. Hi, Hardy, I'm a huge fan of the show. I am a Boston physician now working in San Diego. I heard this morning about your back pain that went to the groin. I think you might have a kidney stone.
Ooh.
Just a thought. Hope you feel better. Dr. Steve.
I've had a kidney stone. It doesn't feel like that.
Okay.
I don't think you have a kidney stone.
Do you give more credence and credibility to somebody who is making a diagnosis over the radio as opposed to the Twitter doctors who make diagnoses after watching a play on like the football field on TV?
Well, no, the guy who does it over the radio, I'm far more credible.
I think so too.
I actually think so.
Yeah.
Because you're at least describing pain. And the Twitter doctors that are insisted on, but I hate that writers retweet them. But I'm off to I'm getting off Twitter anyway. Twitter is so useless now. It's not even good at collecting information. I really am not on it often anymore. It's so dumb. It's really hit. It's not a function of anything I need, and it's not because it pisses me off. It's just useless. Like it's just this useless thing. I'm off Facebook, and now I barely look at Twitter.
It's funny. Some of the writers who follow the Red Sox have ditched Twitter to go over to Blue Sky because they think that's a better option.
I just think that whole thing is stupid. Like I think it's dumb for companies. I think it's dumb for the writers. So anyway, if you don't know what Hardy's talking about, it's during football games especially. Like someone will go down, and then the doctor will watch a replay of it, and like any good doctor will, without touching the patient or looking at MRIs or X-rays, will say what's wrong with them, and they're batting about 100. When 1 out of 10, they have the proper injury. And by the way, I could go 1 out of 10. I could just go torn ACL, torn ACL, torn ACL, it's a torn ACL, it's a torn ACL. You look at that, it's torn ACL, and 1 out of 10 times I'm going to be right. They're wrong. I remember I was at the game where Zach Wilson went down, the Patriots game, and we had the garbage seats behind the end zone, and I couldn't see what was going on. So I went to Twitter. This is years ago. I went to Twitter, and someone from the Jets, like Rich Cimini or something, retweeted a doctor, and it's like he's got a torn ACL, and he didn't have a torn ACL. He missed 2 games. Like this is bad. This is bad. You know, you can see, and it's funny because my son screwed up his knee recently, and we have a friend who's an orthopedist, like at a hospital, and my ex-wife took him over to the guy's house, and I took him to the doctor before that. I had to leave after the show to take him to the doctor, and you guys remember that. And they moved the knee around. They can tell by the knee, like the structure of the ligaments. Without touching the knee, you don't have any idea what the hell went on. Like he could fall anyway. Your knee could buckle. I mean, the kid from Auburn, when he fell in the Elite Eight game, they couldn't figure out if it was his knee hyperextended or it was his elbow. They were just, who knows? And then they said
Very different parts of the body.
And then they said he was out of the game because he told Bruce Pearl he couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, he hits a three. And now he's playing in the Final Four. So, no, those doctors are awful. And it's not even the crappy doctor, because obviously they're losers if they're on Twitter doing it. It's the writers that retweet them. That's what really pisses me off. I don't think it's fair to the athlete. I don't think it's fair to the team. And it's crappy to the fan base because, you don't want the guys on your team to be hurt, And so they just tell you they're out for the season. And so, now I'm watching the game and I can't enjoy it because Dr. TV says that he's going to be out for the season. I mean, I long for the days where Dr. Oz would construct a supersized colon and then take you for a walk through it. Yeah. That's how I got the idea for the January 2002 photo spread. Put more oil on. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he goes to the end zone. It's caught. He got it. Touchdown.
WBZFM at HD Boston. 98.5 The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics pulled away in the fourth quarter last night. They finished off their first ever 6-0 road trip with a 117-103 win in Memphis over the Grizzlies. Al Horford scored 26 points. Jason Tatum added 25. And Derek White set a new franchise record for made threes in a season in this game. The Green have now won 9 in a row. They play Miami at TD Garden tomorrow night. There's also some Red Sox news this morning. First, the Sox took care of some major business last night, signing their new ace, Garrett Crochet, to a 6-year, $170 million contract extension. The deal kicks in after next season and doesn't have an opt-out until after year 5 in 2030. On the field, the Sox fell to 1-4 and lost their 4th in a row.
And that one driven deep into the alley, way out there, way back. That's going to take a hop up against the wall. 2 runs in. O'Neal and Mountcastle both score. Mullins pounced on it. 4-0 Baltimore.
That is Dave O'Brien on Nesson. Cedric Mullins drove in 4 runs. The Orioles scored an 8-5 win in the opener of a 3-game series at Camden Yards. The newly signed Garrett Crochet will pitch against the Orioles tomorrow night. Cubs catcher Carson Kelly hit for the cycle and drove in 5 runs. Chicago beat the Athletics out in Sacramento late last night by a score of 18-3. And the Bruins will try to end an 8-game losing streak when they come back home to play the Washington Capitals tonight. Charlie McAvoy skating without a red non-contact jersey at practice yesterday, but there's still no timetable for his return. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the crispy fried twin catch with North Atlantic cod and crispy shrimp. Available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
He's an extremely talented football player. Again, getting to know the kid has been raised the right way.
Some shenanigans were happening, so
Right.
they took the whole damn video down.
Which I don't have a problem with because YouTube should do that.
Yeah.
YouTube should, if you own or create something, you should own it.
Yeah.
Crazy idea.
Right?
It's a
Intellectual
nutty
property and such?
it's
Yeah.
a nutty idea.
Real quick, Nick would like everybody to know. Speaking of the guy from Machine and
Sure.
such, there will be many reels, many French fries, and many reels that will hit the Toucher and Hardy Instagram today, clipped from yesterday's appearance with Robbie Road Steamer and Guy from Machine. So make sure you're following.
I
us
would
on
have gotten on him more about not making any reels, but those never do well. Not reels in general, but just the ones that I think are going to do well, like never do well. Like I always think that, oh wow, this is a great reel, and then it doesn't do well. Nick does a great job with them, but then what will do well is Hardy and I standing in front of his house. Like I don't understand how any of that works. Like the most boring thing, it will be Hardy and I at halftime of the Super Bowl talking, and it will get like legitimately like 75,000, 100,000 views. But then we'll have this like great thing up. And Chris DeStefano will like share something that we did, and he's got like 1 million followers, and it will have like 5 views. I don't understand any of it. By the way,
I don't get it either, but I think we need to make more of those. Maybe we'll just need to stand outside places and just have a little chin wag.
Oh, good idea.
I can't wait until we're at that golf tournament. When we're at the Travelers.
We're gonna stand outside. Let's stand outside. It's the first.
I imagine we're broadcasting outside.
Are we broadcasting outside, Hardy?
I imagine we're broadcasting in the 13th fairway.
Where are we broadcasting from?
Wherever the hell we please.
I call it the Eagle's Nest. But it's
really?
Now you got him a bone.
All right. So do tell.
Don't get him territorial.
It's a perch right next to the Travel to Barbados tent. There's like a line of vendors there. And it overlooks the practice range, which is great for me. I didn't know last year how close it was to that, but I know this year to bring my binoculars.
Oh, it's just great. You know what, Fred? You know what we'll be able to do?
I don't.
Because it's close enough, but I want to get even closer. I want to see
you want to see the swing path.
Right. Divot patterns.
Oh, but VJ Singh poured a Gatorade in those. Yes.
The best is we'll be able to grab the golfers as they come in off the range and get them as guests.
Yeah, and the best thing is no one will listen to our show that day. Here's the deal. We mentioned very quickly that Morgan Wallen walked off SNL. The only reason I'm reading this is because Keaton Thompson said something funny. It's not even about Morgan Wallen. He says, like, seems like a compliment. Morgan Wallen walked off during the goodbyes. Fair. All right. It's not really that big a deal, but Keaton Thompson was asked about he's doing some like charity thing. He goes, seems like a complicated individual, I guess. But then he noted it wasn't the first time a musical guest has suddenly left. He said Prince did the same thing. I'm not saying Morgan Wallen is Prince.
Oh, good.
But we weren't surprised because Prince was notoriously kind of standoffish. It's just how he was. So we were just like, okay, now he's just gone back into Fantasyland. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one, but I did think that was kind of funny.
No, I do too.
All right, so we were playing the draft. Now, obviously, if you're a Patriot fan, and good on Felger for getting Vrabel yesterday, and you heard Vrabel talking with the media, and he looks a lot different. Have you noticed that, Vrabel? Not as different as Scalabrini. Holy moly.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
Holy moly, Scal. You were the picture of health. And now you look fat and tired.
Gained a little weight. Yeah,
but also he's no me. I mean,
Right.
like a total piece of garbage. But I mean, he looks exhausted. And it doesn't help that they have him next to a kid that looks legitimately like my son's age. And my son looks like a baby on his baseball team. And it looks like because of his like lack of facial hair and stuff, not because of his behavior or anything. You know, my son's a 6'3" child. The kid doing the games for the Celtics looks like he's 15 years old. Very strange hire. Very strange hire. But then next to him, Scal is very haggard.
Yeah.
And I love Scal, but we have to admit this, correct? Scal looks haggard.
He has gained a couple of pounds recently.
But
yes.
he looks haggard, like
But
tired.
you also get with every year, I notice it more, like you can't fight gravity, and it starts like making your face droop down a little bit, and it makes you look tired. And yeah, he's not the picture of health, but you know, to your point about Vrabel, yeah, Vrabel obviously was always a big guy. He's big. He's a big guy.
He's put on some pounds too.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
And again,
And that shaved head is not doing him favor.
Doesn't help him in the video. I don't know if you watched any of Felger or Maz yesterday, but sitting next to Felger, who is waifish. I mean, he is, you know, a strong gust would blow that guy over. Anyone's going to look big.
Ryan Beaton, who's a Kendra Middleton historian, showed us a photo yesterday. He hates that. He showed us a photo yesterday of Felger talking to Vrabel like from 15 years ago. Felger looks better now than he did 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's aged like fine wine.
But he's absurdly thin. I mean, between him and Beaton, you know, there's probably, you know.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Beaton's an athletic track fit. And Felger is like a sickly, incurable disease thing.
And Beaton is less than half Felger's age, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beaton looks, but I'll tell you this, Beaton's young. Beaton looks about the same age as that kid that does the Celtics games.
Yeah.
I think he is the same age. How old are you, Ryan?
25.
Ryan is 25.
Yeah. Drew is, I think, 27.
He must be making no money. I'll tell you that. He must have just said, I'll do it for free. That had to piss a lot of people off. Not because he's bad at it, just because he's so young. And it's not like he's like some superstar. I mean, you know, he's fine. But Scal. Remember with the workout, Scal? He used to work out twice a day. Remember?
Religiously.
Remember Mike Gorman talking about him?
You know what? He came on one week and said, you know what? Scal bet me that he could beat my wife, who swam competitively. So we were in Chicago, and Scal's in the pool after yoga and a workout, and he'd get in the pool and try and race his wife back and forth, and then he'd go do yoga with the head of, you know, it would be constant from the time he got up to the time that the game started, there'd be like a 2-hour down period for a nap. But before
now
now
it's just a constant blender making milkshakes. John Mara talked. He's the owner of the Giants, right? So, like, this would be quick. If you're a Patriots fan, you obviously want the Giants to take Shedeur Sanders.
And there was a report. It was reporting from Adam Schefter that regardless of how many quarterbacks they've signed, they were still interested.
And there was also an article in ESPN that talked to a bunch of their dudes, their analysts or guys that are in the know, and they were all saying it's the worst kept secret in football that the Giants want Shedeur Sanders. Well, Mara spoke at the annual meeting yesterday, and he said we can go in any which direction. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This
Joe
is
Schoen.
Joe Schoen talked. I apologize. The general manager.
Yep.
Joe Schoen said we can go in any which direction, talking about the signings that they made. The Giants, it doesn't force you into a corner or force you to take something based on need. Many people around the draft have said Sanders is more of a day 2 pick. Assuming the Titans take Ward at 1, which they will, one of the Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter would fall right into the Giants' lap, a potential generational consolation prize. This line of thinking signifies that Shane, who's square on the hot seat, is considering the Giants' long-term success rather than forcing a QB to save his job. Asked if it would be hard to pass on Hunter or Carter, Shane offered another answer that showed his reluctance to reach for a QB. We are in a position where we can take who we think is the best football player at that time, and I know, and he might fit our. And he's talking about Travis Hunter. He might fit our needs more than any other team. He was gushing about everything else.
According to one team source who spoke with this reporter under condition of anonymity at last month's scouting combine, he raved about Hunter's fit with the team. So I've always thought it was a pipe dream that you were going to get Carter or Hunter. I thought the one quarterback, Cam Ward, would go there, and then it would be Hunter or Carter in some way, shape, or form, which would force the Patriots to make a decision. You know, based on what we heard Vrabel say yesterday, they view Will Campbell as a left tackle. And if that's the case, he's clearly the best left tackle on the board, and you would be forced to really back up your belief or trade down. So are you going to take a left tackle who, according to everything that we've read in the last 3 weeks, have arms that are negligible, and he might wind up being an interior lineman? Are you really going to spend the 4th overall pick on that guy?
And they did some exercise with the value of every pick, and trading down is really, I don't even know. You might as well just take the guy you like. I mean, trading down, you're picking up maybe a 3rd, depending on, maybe if you fall way back, you're picking up a 2. But is that worth losing all that draft position in the first round?
No, it's not.
So
you might wind up taking a guy who's going to be your left guard at 4 overall. It's looking more and more like that's the decision Elliott Wolf's going to have to make.
Yeah, and I don't think that if and I'll just ask this and then we'll break. So talking about where Shedeur Sanders would go, and I don't dislike Shedeur Sanders or have any opinion on him other than he doesn't seem to be a great athlete, is if you were Vegas and you made the you were Vegas and you made the Geno Smith trade, I wouldn't reach for Sanders in the top 10 of the draft. I have Geno Smith for 3 years.
Yeah, they're 6th, right?
Yeah,
so.
6th or 7th. Yeah, I wouldn't. They might be 7th. I don't know, 6th or 7th. What's the matter? But I wouldn't necessarily reach. I bought myself some time. I'm not taking a quarterback that high. I don't think that he goes there. I don't think the Jets would take him.
Well, that's the thing. Bert Breer said more than once he could go in the top 3 or he could go 33rd. You're talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know why I hope he falls. I don't know why that for some reason, maybe because his father must be the money. I want him to fall.
Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for his failure in the draft. Not in life or in football, but in the draft. I got to be honest. I don't know why. So you know why I hate strong, willful minorities. Just like that lady said.
Well, secret's out.
Kevin Stefanski from the Browns says Shedeur Sanders was raised the right way, whatever that means.
He's an extremely talented football player. Again, getting to know the kid has been raised the right way. I think they've done an outstanding job bringing him along in terms of understanding football. But he's a very, very talented young man. But off the field is where I'm probably most impressed.
Yeah.
You still want him to fall?
Nah, I changed my mind.
There you go.
All right, we'll be right back. Terrence Howard, who's super weird, was Hardy has found more audio of him.
Now he's recruiting people. He's not just talking to Rogan and sharing ideas. Now he's getting other people on board.
All right, so we will be back in just a moment.
More.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I have. And I got super drunk, and I talked to the band afterwards, and I look back, and I go, oh, Jesus Christ, you loser. You bored them so much and were probably offensive, you stupid piece of crap. That's one of those regrets that I have. I wish I wouldn't have been so drunk.
Did they play their song All? Did they also
That's
play
Descendants.
And the Descendants had songs All and No All.
Yeah, it just goes all, and then the other song is all, no, all, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, Ben, you are on the radio program. Congratulations.
Oh.
Well, thank you. It's an honor. Forgive me, but I'm getting frustrated with all the talk about the draft. Assuming Hunter and Carter are gone, the Patriots with their fourth pick, the conversation's all about whether or not Will Campbell is worthy of the fourth pick. Because if he has short arms and you need to move him to guard, you shouldn't take a guard with the fourth pick. Okay, fine. Assuming all that's true, who do you pick with the fourth pick? And if the argument is, well, you trade back,
No.
who is the person who's trading up going to take with the fourth?
Right.
I don't understand.
I'm with you completely on the trading back thing. The trading back thing is ridiculous. The return you're going to get on it is going to be minuscule. And I also agree, I don't think anyone's going to be – let's look where they – so you're picking fourth. Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback. They're picking after you. I just told you that people have Shedeur Sanders going to the Raiders. They got a pretty good deal in that Geno Smith deal. I think you don't you agree, guys agree, and I'll leave the call around for this, that if I'm going to take Shedeur Sanders, or I think there's a possibility of me taking a quarterback with the sixth pick in the draft, I'm not making that Geno Smith trade, right?
No. I would agree with that. What you said made sense. Geno Smith gives them a couple of years here, and the quarterback class can't be any worse than this one next year.
Why would I mean, Shedeur Sanders is an older experienced quarterback. He'd be the kind of guy you start right away. Why would I make that Geno Smith trade if I was going to? They obviously looked at the draft and said, we don't like anyone. That's what it seems like to me. Now watch, they'll take him.
Well, look, you have an older head coach that has maybe 3 years left. Right?
Well, but they didn't get him to win a Super Bowl necessarily. They got him just to right the ship.
But I guess what I'm saying is you don't start a rookie quarterback with a 73-year-old head coach.
Right, you don't bring in that guy and for this coach to bring him along and coach him for a long time.
As long as your point aligns with my point, sure. I'll let that go. And what was and then the Jets are certainly not taking Shedeur Sanders. Carolina's not going to take Shedeur Sanders. So that takes you to 9. And you think New Orleans is going to be all hell-bent on jumping up and giving you something? I mean, what are you going to get? So I'm on your page there. And as for Will Campbell, the problem with taking Will Campbell fourth is that if he is a guard, in theory, you have overdrafted him.
But then who do you draft?
Right.
That's where the conversation always ends.
So, okay, but there's guys that are believed to be incredibly talented, but maybe like Javon Walker from Georgia.
Mason Graham, Michigan, defensive tackle, consensus All-American. Everyone has him mocked in that area.
Yeah, but we've talked to Bert Breer, and there's like a couple guys that are you're kind of they're not put in the Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter position, but they have upside that could make them elite, and maybe that's what you do there because you do want an elite player at 4. You don't want a guard, so that would be the argument against it. Or you go for a kid that can play right tackle.
Armand, is it Membo? I always get that wrong. He's another guy that is apparently racing up all these mock drafts.
Well, him and the Golden from Texas apparently. And again, when I tell you this, audience, and when I tell you this, Ben, I'm just going by a collective again. I'm a fan of the draft, but I have not analyzed these players myself, and believe me, you would not want my advice on these players anyway. But does that answer your question, Ben?
That helps. It just seems like there's not a good pick at 4.
No, there's not. That's why it sucks. Joe Milton screwed everything.
Yeah, it's a 3-year draft. It's a 3-person draft, and you have the 4th pick.
Right.
Yeah.
And to your point, I mean, trading back doesn't seem to make sense because who's worthy of giving up trade capital to get to 4.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. And I think that if you did make a move, you would get like a third. And I'm not giving up that draft position to get an extra third-round pick, because now you're talking that you're going to the low first round. Because even in the first round, I can get Tyler Warren out of the Penn State tight end. I can get Golden, the receiver out of Texas. People are iffy on Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan, but he's there.
The other thing is
Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker's the guy that Bert has been in here more than once saying that guy could be one of the better prospects out of all of them. He's just a little raw right now.
Yeah,
the Georgia kid apparently is going to be very good.
Yeah, there's a left tackle that was supposed to go higher in the draft, and he was just completely abused by Walker, and that has lowered that kid's draft stock.
Well, that Ashton Genty conversation didn't go much of anywhere, did it?
What about the Patriots taking him?
Or anybody. Like the running, I still see him pop up on a mock here or there, with the Patriots taking him, but just nobody really gets their skirt blown up with the idea of taking a running back at all, much less, not this year, and certainly not at number 4.
Yeah, he's going to go in the top 10, I think, but because he's an elite talent, which is you can't say about everyone that's going to be getting taken in the top 10.
You could argue it's another way of it's not an argument. It is another way of helping Drake May, though, along with the two obvious ones of a left tackle and a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So
look, if they took him, I wouldn't be. If they took him because they said we think that this is a Pro Bowl talent, there's a Pro Bowl talent on the board, and we're going to take him. And it would be fun. It would be super fun if they took them. I mean, you could sell tickets.
They're not in any position to turn down anybody at this point.
Yeah.
Saying we're full. Oh, we can't take that guy. So
I'll tell you this:
puts them in the mix.
Yeah, if they believe that they built a team and their schedule is real easy, and if they believe that they built a team that can, challenge for be competitive in December, then why not? If you think this kid is by far and away the best talent on the board,
mm-hmm.
I would take him. I think that the running back position has been kind of reestablished. Josh, go ahead.
Fred Toucher, Hardy. Who's your third guy? Wallach, right?
Yeah. Who cares?
Who cares
about him?
Screw that. What's up, fellas? A few quick things. Isn't it a 4-player draft? You got Carter, Hunter, Cam Ward, and Sanders.
But we're just talking about Sanders. He could fall to the Steelers or something. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, after you get by the top 3, the theory is he could fall a long way. And as we were just saying, I don't know if you were listening, it looks like the New York Giants aren't interested in taking him at 3. So if he gets by the Patriots, who knows where he's going to drop to?
I think there'd be teams willing to trade up for the Patriots pick just to draft a good quarterback or something. But regardless, on the Belichick real quick, I think it's beneath him to go to UNC. I think he should just be doing things with models and other things. But
he's not with Eb Model. Let's make that very clear. But go ahead.
Well, she'd be a model to me.
That's very sweet.
Okay. Anyways, I originally called about the Celtics. I think their depth has been proven, especially after a win last night. I didn't watch, but just looking at the score, Luke Cornett and stuff, and their bigs aren't the greatest, but they just put things together. I'm just going to hang up and listen.
Well, they were up 15 with 6 minutes to play. They put that game away, but they let Memphis get cute at the end.
They were bored in the first half.
Yeah.
You could see it. They were just like, it's the last game of the road trip. We just got to get by this game and go home. We've been on the road a long time.
And it wasn't like Moran had a bad game. So, they won. I mean, they're really good.
Yeah, it's almost methodical. It's weird. John Morant started really well. He hit a 3 from so deep in the corner. He was behind the backboard when he shot it, and he made it. And it was one of those things where, he's going to have himself a night. And then all of a sudden the game was tied, and Drew Holiday and Derek White hadn't scored yet, and then they just slowly pulled away. Memphis is not good, even though they're technically a playoff team.
Their coach.
They're free-falling at the moment. And the Celtics treated them like that. They didn't have Jaylen Brown. They didn't have that guy's favorite guy, Luke Cornett, last night. Didn't matter. Never matters.
No.
It's not going to matter until you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then it matters.
Yes, that is true, unfortunately. Jeff, go ahead.
All right, Hardy. Way to steal my thunder by looking at the call screen. It's very simple. Derrick Henry made Ryan Tannehill look like a god in Tennessee. You draft Genty with the fourth pick, generational talent, didn't have a good O-line in Boise State, and then you trade Ramondre Stevenson so you can move back into the back end of the first round. And that's where you get
Jeff, Ramondre Stevenson would get you a sixth-round pick. Let's be honest.
And I forget to pull up the call screen when I'm anchoring the show. You think I pull up the call screen when I'm in my normal spot?
In
No.
fairness, also that you wanted to take Genty wasn't on the call screen. It was just that they had to make a bold move. So you're safe everywhere. All right.
By the way, when Dan Roach was here last week, he was all beside himself at the notion that the Giants wouldn't be interested in taking Shedeur Sanders, and this was after they had essentially doubled up at the quarterback position. Now, are they two great quarterbacks they have? No, but they have two guys who can play quarterback right now.
It seems like they're buying a year. It seems like they're trying to tread water for a year until next season, and then Arch Manning will decide to stay in college. Ed, go ahead.
Hey, Fred. Talking about Terrence Howard in a little. I'm wondering, have you ever seen his penis?
No, unfortunately, I've not.
He showed it in Get Rich or Die Trying.
And?
It looks like someone hot glued an acorn to his abdomen.
Oh, that's bad? If that's bad, we're all in trouble.
I'm going to check it out right now.
Please, and when you find it, let me see post haste. Was it cold? Was it set in the Arctic? There's many things. It doesn't mean anything what it looked like in that stage. As we all know, there's many, many stages, except for John, who, when he's by the window, is free and clear.
Yeah, he's got a bit of an issue there. I mean, it's not great.
That's bold.
Yeah, I don't know why you would agree to.
From this
do that
distance,
same-
it doesn't look like a man even.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great.
Well, give him a lot of credit for getting naked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? He's a grower, not a shower. That's all that means.
I'll give him a lot of credit for getting naked. A lot of credit. I actually have a new respect for him. No one, he must truly be insane to let someone see that. That's why there will never be a nude of me anywhere. All right, we'll be back. Let's talk to Andrew Callahan. He's over there at the NFL meetings. We can get what he thought of the Vrabel conversations and everything else in just a moment.
Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, I just wanted to talk about Travis Hunter real quick. I think the Patriots absolutely need to draft him for one reason only. We don't have a contested catch guy and a quick slant guy that can take off and go. We're about to see Travis Hunter in Terminal C in Logan Airport. I'm telling you. What do you guys think?
Well, hopefully he's renting a car, because that's when you really know that they're coming to the team. Well, it all hinges on Shedeur Sanders going number 3 of the Giants, and then maybe the Giants are putting up a smoke screen, and they don't really. They do want Sanders, but again, we just went through the top 10, and if the Giants, I think the Giants probably bought themselves a year, is what their thinking is, and they probably went to ownership and said, "Look, this draft sucks. Tennessee's going to take the only quarterback that we would ever possibly want at 1." So they bought a year. Again, I don't think Vegas makes that Geno Smith trade unless they want Shedeur Sanders. And if they wanted Shedeur Sanders, I don't think the Jets get Justin Fields, who they have anointed starter already, if they want Shedeur Sanders. And then you're talking about the Saints at 9, and then who knows?
As we sit here right now, Cam Ward is going to go 1. You reading and watching all of this stuff over the last week, it looks more and more like Abdul Carter's going to go to Cleveland 2nd, and Travis Hunter, based on what we just read, is going to go to the Giants 3rd.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andrew Callahan is our good friend, and he is at the NFL meetings over there in Florida, and he joins us now. He writes for the Boston Herald, of course. Hello, Andrew Callahan.
Hello, fellas. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. I know it's a busy day full of walking around ballrooms, but no one puts on a conference like the NFL. I can imagine that it's very exciting for you. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say exciting, but it is good to be in sunny Florida, given the weather that I left. And yes, the NFL, no one's better at making an event out of nothing than the NFL. First, I have a question, though, because last time I was on the show, we had a little wager. I don't know if it was settled between Wallach and Hardy.
A wager that we had to say? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
the questions.
Brian, Michigan State.
Yes.
What was the wager?
So it didn't happen.
It did happen. Yes.
Good.
Whoever lost the game, and I was very generous with Wallach. The line was as high as 18.5 points, and which I thought was ridiculous. I said, you know what, I'll let you take 16 and also give you a shot at a push on this.
Yeah, peg.
Yeah. And of course, Michigan State ended up. Bryant blew out
by 25. They lost by 25
points. So to pay his side of the bet, I was able to come up with 3 questions that John had to ask of our first guest that day, and
Mike Dussault.
It ended up being Mike Dussault. And I should have stipulated. This is my fault, Andrew, because I like the idea. This was Andrew's idea. 3 questions, they can be whatever you want. The problem was I should have stipulated that you had to ask the question completely out of context as written, and instead Wallach did his sing-songy conversational thing to make the questions not awkward.
Smart man.
Were they about bird stuff?
Yes. One was, I believe the question I just wanted to ask was, have you ever seen bald eagles mate mid-flight?
Another question was, are you...
Can you play the clarinet?
Yeah.
I can.
Yes. And the third one had to do with his ability to produce magic tricks.
Okay.
So,
Andrew, you do understand that John was not only... The funniest thing about John being a basketball analyst was his assertion that, Bryant runs. You got to be afraid about Bryant running. And I said, well, Michigan State pushes the ball. I think they're one of the highest rates in college basketball. And him and his dumb friend that was on were all like, they didn't know anything.
That's what you sounded
like two
like.
idiots.
That's exactly it.
Two stupid idiots. And this guy calls basketball. What a fool. What a fool. You know what I'm saying, Andrew Callahan?
I hear you, Fred. And honestly, I think Wallach got off easy. So that's a good teammate at Hardy. The questions I had lined up were like, hey, Mike Dussault, if you had a third nipple, what would you name it? like the stuff that you cannot escape, stuff that you cannot sing-song your way out.
That's so crass, Andrew Callahan.
I mean,
Jesus.
well,
this show is, you're right.
We're a little better than that. I mean, we don't, not so much the potty humor. I mean, come on. All right, Andrew.
Many of us have superfluous nipples, Andrew. If you follow your, the lines of the like the mammary ducts or something, and you have like a mole or a freckle leading from your nipples down like toward your abdomen.
Are you lactating by any chance?
Those are actually extra underdeveloped nipples.
Oh, I had no idea.
I heard that once. I believe it.
Okay. Sounds like you have something to get off your chest.
That's a wordsmith in top form right there.
Extra nipples.
Sounds like you have something to sell. All right, Andrew Callahan. What are you hearing in the buzz in terms of Shedeur Sanders? That's what I find the most interesting right now. What's the buzz around these meetings?
I got to be honest. I don't have a ton of buzz here, but the people that are closer to the Giants than I am seem pretty convinced that the Giants are okay passing on Shedeur. And look, that doesn't take a genius or an oracle to kind of look into and see, they signed Russell Wilson. No, they signed Jameis Winston. Like, those are kind of one-year bridge stopgap moves. Neither of those guys is going to be the number 3 quarterback in a room. So I just look at this and go, hey, sometimes it's the simplest answer is the right one. And when we all started going, Shadeur's not a top 5 prospect. He's not top 10. You'd have to reach. Yes, it happens every year. But how far would you reach? Because there are people, Doug and I have talked to this week. You ask about Cam Ward. You say, hey, where would he have been drafted last year? And one GM told us, honestly, he was around like Penix and J.J. McCarthy. So the 4th or 5th guy last year. So if you're not reaching, they're going to reach for him. Let's be clear. But are you going to reach for the second guy all the way up that high when some teams have a second-ranked grade on him? I don't see it.
All right. So that brings us to Will Campbell. Vrabel was asked about him. Are they looking at him as a left tackle prospect?
Yes, they are. He was definitive about that. He honestly thought there was no choice in the matter. It's like, I think you have to look at him like that because he played there for 2 years, and so the Patriots are moving on. I will say though, because this was said on your airwaves, that Elliot Wolf told Felger, tackle or guard. So I would say tackle first, but they see him as playing both.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about drafting? Is that overdrafting a kid at 4 then, or how do you feel about that?
I'm not a fan of the Will Campbell pick, and I want to be clear that, I think he'll be a good NFL player. I think he might be a great one. But if you're the Patriots and you have the number 4 pick, you are then betting on a historic outlier.
Sounded like he started getting quiet.
You got me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, now you're back. Okay, so you left it. You're a historic outlier.
Yeah, so he has the shortest wingspan of any offensive tackle to go to the combine since 2011. There's been no Pro Bowl offensive tackle with arms like his in the last 25 years. I'm not risking that with the number 4 pick. Armand Membu played right tackle in Missouri. Maybe he can flip over the tackle who position, who have requisite length that'll be available late in the first round, maybe early second, that I'd rather go with than a total outlier at number 4.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, but are you walking into the meetings right now?
No, we're walking in the lobby of the courtyard, so
Okay.
a lot less glamorous.
Yeah, and you're very out of breath. What's the deal? Have you been not exercising?
Karen Gregan is chasing me. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got a scooper.
I understand.
Yeah.
There's scoops that need to be had. Do you need to go? Do you want us to let you go?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. Is there any buzz about the rule changes and the talk of the tush push? I would think that among the things being discussed, tush push kickoff stuff is probably generating as much conversation as anything.
So humiliating.
Yeah, you've heard reports that Mike Vrabel has come out firmly against this, and he gave a lukewarm non-answer to us yesterday.
Yeah.
But I really don't see this getting banned the way that the coaches who have spoken publicly about it have discussed it. Because, look, you need 24 votes to ban it. The Packers feel strongly about this. Other teams have, softly invoked concerns about injury. And to me, I just think if you have 9 teams that go, why would we bother to do this? It doesn't affect us. We're in the AFC. Forget the fact of the play and the rule. The Eagles are good at it. Good for them. we have to see them once every 3-4 years. That, like, to me, it's going to be hard to convince all those teams, 24 or more, to pass it. But we'll find out later today.
All right. Well, look, we appreciate you joining us. I know that people are starting to speak soon. Don't let Garigian pass you. That would be you got to establish your dominance. Thank you, Andrew Callahan. Everyone read his reporting from the NFL meetings in the Herald. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
You got it. See you guys soon.
All right, there you go.
Thanks, Andrew.
He was on the move today.
Yeah. Got places to go.
If you were the Steelers and your choices and amounted to Aaron Rodgers or trading up with the Patriots to get Shedeur Sanders because you're afraid that – now, here's the number one problem with that. I don't know anyone between you and the Patriots is going to take Shedeur Sanders.
That's what I was going to say. You might very well just stay put and wait.
Steelers are what, 23? They're down there, man. So think about that. There are 19 spots in there where I can't make an argument for any of those teams to take Shedeur. But if you're worried that he won't be there and you don't have to give up a whole lot, would you make that trade with the Patriots?
No. Because I no.
You would stick with Aaron Rodgers.
No, because I take Shedeur Sanders, but I don't have to jump to 4 because he's not going at 5. I don't think he's going at 6. He's not going at 7. He's not going at 8.
Yeah,
I would only have to. I'd have to trade to 8.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would think New Orleans could take him.
Pittsburgh's 21, by the way.
Yeah, and so I'm not. No, I'm not trading up to 4 to get him.
No.
If I want Shedeur Sanders and I'm iffy on it, I don't even know if I.
Which is why New Orleans isn't going to trade up with the Patriots either.
Oh no! New Orleans isn't going to trade up with the Patriots. I'm
just countering what everybody says. Well, maybe New Orleans would. No, they don't have to. If he's there at 4, he'll be there at 8. And if he's there at 9, he'll be there at 21.
I mean, there's some talk of like the Raiders taking Shedeur Sanders, but again, I don't know why you make the trade that you did for Geno Smith if you're going to just go ahead and take a kid in the first round. I mean, they traded draft capital for Geno Smith.
Only if the Raiders are trying to like be consistent in the number of overwhelming or underwhelming decisions that they're making under Tom Brady's tutelage.
Yeah, that's the thing is that they brought in Carroll to settle things down and kind of just get everything moving in the right direction, and that's why they traded for Geno Smith so they'd have a capable starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is like 23 and a half. 24 years old. He's not a kid who's going to sit around, needs to sit around. He started every year of his college career. I mean, he doesn't need to sit around. If there was a kid that was going to start in the NFL, it's Shedeur Sanders. So I don't think he goes at 6. I know the Jets won't take him because they have committed to Fields being their starting quarterback, and I do not believe they gave him a 2-year, $50 million deal to take Shedeur Sanders, because again, if you take Shedeur Sanders, you can play him. And so the Steelers are the only team, Steelers in New Orleans.
There's one team that I can see, and I was reading about this the other day. Indianapolis has had enough of Anthony Richardson after watching him for a couple of years. So,
well, who'd they just bring in?
They just brought in. Who did they just bring in? They just brought in a bag. Is it Daniel Jones?
Yeah. I think they might have brought in Daniel Jones. Yeah, they brought in Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is the backup.
Yeah, so now you have Shedeur Sanders, Anthony Richardson, and Daniel Jones. They're not taking Shedeur Sanders. And then what if it gets down to the Steelers, and then the Steelers take the kid from Ole Miss?
Oh,
Hachi Machi.
Dart.
Yeah.
That would be great. Make for great theater.
It really would make for great theater.
Shedeur sitting there. Is he even going to the draft? I don't even know if he's going to the draft. But he's sitting there. He's waiting.
I wouldn't go if I was him. All right, look, you voted. Your voting counts. Mm-hmm. We still live in a democracy, and we will get very deep into what's going on with the president and the tariffs. No, we will do our 6-man results. Robbie Roadsteamer versus Guy from Machine.
got 26 points off the bench from Al Horford and won their 9th straight game last night, 117-103 in Memphis over the Grizzlies. Joe Mazzulla's team not only went 6-0 on a road trip for the first time ever, they're an NBA best 32-7 away from home this season.
We try to play consistent basketball. That means we're something in 12 at home, so it's really just 4 or 5 games, you know what I mean? And so it's not that big of a difference. So it's more about just playing consistent basketball. But I think each year you develop different kind of strengths, especially with the same team. And this year it just happened to be just kind of our road mentality.
Derek White added 3 3-point shots and in the process set a new franchise record for the most made threes in one season. Celtics will be back in action tomorrow night at home against Miami. There's good and bad news for the Red Sox. Good news first. Garrett Crochet has agreed to a 6-year, $170 million contract extension. That deal kicks in after next season. There is an opt-out after year 5. Crochet is expected to start in Baltimore tomorrow night. He'll also be trying to snap a team losing streak of 4 after they lost to the Orioles yesterday, 8-5. Jarren Duran, a 2-run triple and 3 RBIs. Atlanta leadoff hitter Jurickson Profar suspended 80 games by Major League Baseball yesterday. He tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. And the Bruins play the Washington Capitals at TD Garden tonight. Alex Ovechkin just 5 goals short of breaking Wayne Gretzky's career record. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are proudly brought to you by Service Credit Union. They've teamed with Charlie McAvoy again this season for 73 reasons to defend New England's first responders. Visit servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And now, back to Toucher and Hardy on Sports Hub.
Oh, that's not right.
It's also weird.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, apropos of nothing.
Yeah, like I've never talked to her. We've never met.
Put her on
like,
the air all the time, ask her questions.
She was just on talking to Nick. She didn't even went on the air, I guess.
That is weird.
Anyone concerned that they have not received an email from Scott in the North End today?
Ooh.
I mean, yesterday alone, let me do just a quick count here in terms of Monday emails, Scott in the North End. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was all before 7 a.m. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, last email from Scott, Blind Scott, around 8 o'clock yesterday. That was number 11. Yesterday, and today, 0.
He's probably needed at the state senate. He's actually speaking on. It's time for his turn to filibuster.
He had to go change.
I'm totally blind, by the way. If anybody doesn't know.
As he is the opening remarks.
Yeah, the hedge fund is having their annual meeting that he needs to head up. All right, so
now to the meat of my discussion here today, ladies and gentlemen.
Fred Toucher, he's a single guy.
Yes, all right. So
just want to bring something up about Fred Toucher.
We are doing a contest, and we bring him up and Sarah from Everett up because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sack. Toucher and Hardy features Fred Toucher with Hardy and Wallach too. Adam 12 and Nick and Ryan. But the most important person is you. Sixth man. The New Woke Order. Sixth man.
I'm totally blind, by the way.
Sixth man.
A lot of people are going, ooh, oh.
Sixth man.
6
is a very seductive number.
Wow.
all right. So the deal with this is we are looking. Then we had a guy from Machine. He beat Al Cole. Robbie Roadsteamer beat AI Sarge, and Adolfo he beat Bird. So on Thursday we're gonna have Sarah from Everett in studio. She says she's coming in. We're going to finally lay eyes on her. And she will.
It's like the meth face, like swollen eyes. You don't go after the strippers. You go after the Beverly Boomers, the ones that look like Betty White in the first row. And I'm singing my song, I Put a Baby in You. And I see who has the income. I see the wristbands and the rings.
You're going for the trust fund, kids.
I need quick, dirty money, dude.
I
All right?
understand. How do you and Lenny get along? You have different styles of comedy.
Oh, I don't know about that.
None of the other comedians wanted anything to do with me and stuff because I'm a prop comedian. I'm not one of these traditional stand-ups. Lenny gave me a shake, but he wouldn't look in my eyes. He was just, and he said, way to hang in there.
After your set?
Like I was in a batting cage. Way to hang in there.
Well, I mean, Robbie is a master of the craft, and I'm sure they all appreciated it. They've been working on their material and honing the beats of it, and Robbie comes up there and starts going like, "You ever get a boner?" And so anyway,
not a lot of traditional setup punchline,
he's the
Lenny
Andy
Clark style.
He's the Andy Kaufman of our generation. So there was Robbie Roadsteamer, and he went up against a real juggernaut.
Yes, he did.
Vive. Did I nail it?
Joie.
Joie de vivre.
He, his wife stays with him.
Nick's wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Schwa.
Like
Schwa.
she has to correct him. Like she is so much more intelligent than him. That's got to be very aggravating, especially when Nick's out drinking at noon on Monday.
On that audio, there was not arguing back and forth, but she's trying to explain the copy to him, how it's written and how it should be enunciated. As I'm sure she does to their son.
Yeah.
But the problem is Nick argues back and is convinced he's right. And you could hear her giving up.
Yeah. Yesterday, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Nick on Instagram put a photo of him and his child up. That child that none of us can relate to the burden of. He's got a kid.
Yeah.
Unlike us.
Right.
Who have two apiece. But he's sitting there. He's having some kind of very elaborate cocktail at noon.
Yeah,
and he's just putting it up there. Him and his kid sitting at the bar noon on a Monday.
Kid with his sippy cup and Nick drinking a Moscow Mule.
Yeah, days I was drinking at noon on a Monday. Not often, and I'm got a problem. But I wasn't drinking at noon on a Monday. That I can assure you. I wasn't getting off the air and running to the bar.
You were a real drunken piece of crap, and even you didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was human garbage.
Right.
I mean, I was.
Lower than low.
Yeah, I was filth. Why won't you guys step on me? So anyway, the guy from Machine was in studio, and if you don't know what he looks like, it's funny. Our video was taken down from YouTube for a while yesterday because of copyright infringement. And it was the small SME and something small to medium business, or is what it was explained to me by a friend. And I don't think that's right, but I thought maybe the restaurant that the guy from Machine worked for complained. Like I didn't know why they pulled the video down. And I thought, small business. And I'm like, what small business were we talking about? I'm like, I wonder if that pizza place that he works at in Revere is mad. They should be ecstatic.
No, I
mean, that's literally tens of thousands of dollars of advertising that the guy from Machine has given them.
I think they should be thrilled.
All right. So anyway, here's a little chunk of the guy from Machine on the show yesterday. We've asked you this before, but you have different types. If you could go around, I'm always fascinated with the way that you can put people in different categories. If we could start with John Wallach, the gentleman with the glasses over there.
The USA hockey shirt on?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. How would you describe his look?
Okay, I would say he's more laid back. Oh, he's like a soccer mom.
A soccer mom.
Yeah, that's actually kind of right on the money.
Really good.
He's like a soccer mom. So, like, if you saw him, you would think he was like a
soccer mom.
A soccer mom. You would think that he was like in his
kind of man form.
Now you're looking at Hardy, who's the man directly to your right.
Okay.
Now, how would you describe him, guy from Machine, if you had to?
Okay, he reminds you of someone like a.
He's so boring. You can't even. No.
baseball player.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Because he has a hat on.
Yeah, first base.
Okay.
Okay, so he's
Kevin Millar.
I'm comfortable at first base. Beyond that, it's a conversation. Now, what about Fred? I mean, you've met Fred before. I mean, I don't know if he's of the bear variety or the rugged double bear, which is a phrase I first heard from you years ago. I mean, how would you
he's
categorize?
changed a lot.
Yeah,
I have. I have.
He's a
changed.
cover beer now.
A what?
A cover beer.
A cover bear?
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean?
Because you dropped the weight.
Oh, thank you, guy from
Another
Machine.
beer, your cup of beer.
Do you find me more attractive now?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, I didn't believe him, but he was very demure yesterday, the guy from Machine. And so Robbie was very funny yesterday. All the comments on Instagram were surprisingly very positive, and people got on the at Toucher and Hardy page on Instagram. Our audience was fantastic. They rooted for both candidates. I'm not making this up. It wasn't just a bunch of psycho people on Twitter. It was actual people supporting their individual candidate, like
Right.
normal.
And
like in the spirit of the competition.
Yeah, nobody campaigned negatively, which was nice. It was
Robbie's tried to start. The problem, Robbie settled in, but the problem with how Robbie handled this is, and I didn't know how to describe it at the time, but like on Sunday I took Deuce, my dog, over to a friend's house, and they have 2 dogs. And like when Deuce first got in, one of the dogs was very aggressive with him, and he got kind of like shy, and it took a while for everyone to kind of find their bearings. Robbie just attacked immediately, and kind of and Robbie's a performer. Guy from Machine is the attraction, and Robbie wouldn't let him go, and I kind of think it put the guy from Machine on the defensive.
Right. Now, did that work in Robbie's favor, or did it work in Guy from Machine's favor?
Robbie thought we were treating the guy from Machine better than we treated him, but then about halfway through, Robbie started loving the guy from Machine himself, and then so he got very into the guy from Machine. We all knew how this was going to go, but let's go through the exercise.
Well, yes, in the most votes that we've received in a matchup so far, it was Guy from Machine with 68% of the vote over Robbie Roadstein was 32%, so Guy from Machine will move to the final.
Wow, I thought Guy from Machine was going to do better. What are we going to do with Guy from Machine? We'll have to figure it out.
All right.
But Guy from Machine did very well.
Excellent.
So, Guy from Machine is moving on to the finals. I could have told you that. That was going to be chalk all the way. But, I mean, he took down Al Cole and Robbie. I mean, those were 2 premier matchups.
535-897-932-3846.
That's like, you're kind of like, you're kind of made up a relationship where there's love and hate going back and forth. I don't know you.
Hi, guys.
I mean, Sarah, you are part of this contest. We want you in studio. How could I hate you? I want you in studio. And then she will be taking on Adolfo. Now, Sarah from Everett and Adolfo will be an interesting matchup, but if by some chance Adolfo wins that matchup and goes up a guy from Machine, this has all been, you don't get a prize. This has all just been kind of a reason to have these guys in. I am interested to see how the voting Adolfo versus Guy versus Machine. They're both guys who've been around for a long time. Adolfo is a foundational piece of my involvement on this radio station. I mean, he's been around longer on the morning show than anybody.
Yes.
Besides me. Mm-hmm. So people are very loyal to Adolfo. But the guy from, I don't mean to, Sarah from Everett could very well win. Adolfo could say something dumb. We're still campaigning here. There's a lot that could go wrong and a lot that could go right from Sarah. She comes in here and we finally lay eyes on her. That counts for a lot. Maybe we rigged the voting. But Adolfo versus the guy from Machine, because the guy from Machine is so universally loved. No one hates him. I've never heard anyone say anything negative about him. Against Adolfo, who's also, there's that kind of fond memories, that nostalgia for. We'll see. But Sarah from Everett against Adolfo on Thursday.
The only good 5-0 is your age.
Yeah, he big defund the police guy.
ACAB, am I right?
Yep. All right, so good. That will be Adolfo versus Sarah from Everett. Congratulations, guy from Machine. Thank you, Robbie. And by the way, when these people lose the contest, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're not going to be on anymore. It just is an exercise to get something to talk about, to be honest with you. All right, when we come back, we do have audio from the NFL owners' meetings.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Vrabel sat down and he talked to people. Elliot Wolf talked to people.
Yeah.
Elliot Wolf was wearing a shirt that you said, why that shirt? Why did you decide to wear that shirt? And he had on a T-shirt underneath it. It seemed like a very odd look. Like he had a T-shirt and then a bad shirt over it. Just like Scal looks tired and heavy. Elliot Wolf looked like a dumb child the way he was dressed.
Oh, man.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
No, you see, he looks like an idiot. But anyway.
That is an odd shirt choice.
Yeah, it's really dumb. I mean, it really is. It's super dumb. And I am often, I'm kidding around in a way, like I'm trying to be funny. But if I was his boss and he showed up like that, I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? It's the one day. It's like the one day you got to do anything for like 3 months, and you show up in that. But you look like an idiot. Just wear a T-shirt
or a Patriots quarter zip or something.
Yeah,
or
anything.
Polo shirt. Just wear. What the hell's wrong with you with that thing?
I don't know.
And I'm no fashion maven, obviously, but I mean, he looks silly. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. couple of NoFX albums, they will even tell you.
Yeah.
Unlistenable. Even S&M Airlines is not a good album. But, they didn't get going until Ribbed. That's when things got a little on track for them. All right. By the way, Nick has put a video. If you're curious about what the guy from Machine looks like, look no further than at Fred Toucher. I put that first. Or at Toucher and Hardy. That video is up. The guy from Machine being very demure. And then Robbie Roadsteamer doing the opposite. I just see Robbie playing with his nose. That's the only part of the video I got to because we had to get back from break. All right. Yesterday was or today too. It's this week in general is the NFL meetings, and Mike Vrabel and Elliot Wolf talked to people, Hardy, and they had things to say.
Mike Vrabel's discussion with Mike Felger covered a lot of ground, and one of the things they talked about is something that John and I were just discussing off the air. Is it appears that we'll have an answer soon on the tush-push rule that owners be voting on. What does Mike Vrabel think about it?
Where are you on the tush-push?
We vote Tuesday, so I haven't decided yet. We'll vote Tuesday.
You haven't decided?
No, I have till Tuesday to have a conversation, and again, those will be the team, Robert.
Yeah. Amy Man,
they were the most successful band ever to come out of the BCN Rumble, which you think about it is sad.
She did guest vocals on the Rush song "I'll Hold Your Fire." Oh, no, it's Time Stands Still. How soon we forget.
Time Stands Still. It said, hey, we had an event for 40 years, and one band had one song that was popular. Yeah, those were the good old days. We couldn't cobble together one band.
Hey, it's Chachi.
Well, we had the Dresden Dolls, but now they're all going to jail. That girl and her husband.
I don't even know the story behind that.
Oh, it's not a good one.
Pride of Lexington, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
right there.
about that in the post-show meeting today.
I'm not overly familiar with the Dresden Dolls.
Good, keep it that way.
Good. Now I feel superior.
That was a good advice from the jump, as far as I was concerned.
I feel vindicated. I always thought they stunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of great acts. Till Tuesday, Voices Carry.
Hey, it's Chachi.
Yeah, they did that.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
No, I have till Tuesday to have.
Yeah, that's right. Here we are now. Voices Carry. You know what Voices carry? Breakfast with the Beatles. They carry all over Northeastern Mass.
Decided?
No, I have till Tuesday to have a conversation, and again, those will be the team. Robert and Jonathan will ultimately have that vote. I don't carry a vote. I just have a...
You think they're going to vote on their own, or aren't they going to follow your lead?
I think we'll have conversations on it.
So how come you're not willing to talk about it beforehand? Which is obviously fine, but that's obviously
we haven't come to a final agreement on what we're going to do.
I find that impossible to believe.
There you go. Call him a liar.
Yeah.
Go
get him.
What he wants.
So, John, what was the latest this morning?
It's according to Jordan Schultz and Diana Rossini and others. It looks like there isn't enough support to ban it. So now they're going to probably table the discussion until the next owners' meeting, which is in May.
Table this.
Yes. So it looks like the tush-push lives on, at least for now.
This whole thing was so ridiculous to me. Like, they invented a play that works. Like, so now you're going to ban it?
That's right.
What? By the way, Buffalo couldn't do it. Buffalo couldn't do it against Kansas City. And who called that game? Was it Aikman? Whoever called that game, it might have even been Romo. Whoever called that game had great analysis, because they were like, we all saw him going over the left guard, like in practice. They were going over the left guard. And wouldn't you know, they went over the left guard, and Kansas City was there, and they stopped it. If it's a play that can be stopped, and it's within the rule book, you're punishing a team because it's successful.
The argument apparently is player safety. I don't.
No,
know
it's
how
not.
I don't know how that factors in.
It's not.
But
you're not getting hurt on that play. No one's getting hurt on that play.
That would be the owner's reason for voting no.
They let Tom Brady go low at the goal line. If you could get hurt on a play, you think they let Tom Brady do it over and over and over again? I know it's not the tush push. But, I mean, he was great at picking up a yard or getting in a yard away.
One of the best ever.
Yeah, if anything, that's not a high-contact play.
Offensive lineman getting rolled up on from behind. I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's called football.
I hate.
Why would you be more likely to get rolled up and behind than that? Because there's someone behind the quarterback pushing him?
Correct.
They also want to ban the one-handed catch because there's only a couple of teams with receivers that can pull it off consistently.
Yeah.
Like, what do you No.
No one who can run under a 4.340 is allowed in the NFL anymore.
It's illegal.
Because we don't have one.
All right, what did Vrabel have to say about extending the season, which we know
The Jets want to eliminate losing.
How about an 18-game schedule?
I haven't even heard about 18 games.
Come on, so you don't want to talk about any of this stuff?
Well, there's nothing that I've heard that they've presented as 18 games.
If it was before you, would you be?
I could coach as many games as you need me, coach.
They're not going to have the coaches vote on that, are they?
No, and that's what he just went out of his way to say. He will discuss with ownership, but ownership has the final call.
Yeah, they're going to go. I mean,
Ownership
Tomlin said it.
soliciting his opinion, but ultimately it's Robert Kraft's
Yeah,
call.
Tomlin said it yesterday, and it was basically all he said because he was, as you could imagine, not happy about his quarterback situation. But he even said they're playing 18 games. I mean, they are. I mean, that's going to happen.
Right. And someone needs to loop Mike Vrabel in on an email chain or get him a Slack sign in so he can, at least hear about the 18-game schedule, which is going to happen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but if he's on the record about it, I mean, it could mean he's in hot water.
What? You can't say
well, yeah, I mean,
Can't say that. All right,
you don't know what it's like to be in a position of power, to be an influencer.
New kickoff rules. These have actually been implemented. I mean, you had a season doing this, so.
New kickoff.
I thought it was good. The ball was in play. I think that moving it up, certainly the numbers would tell you that the injuries were down, the high-speed impacts were down. Returns were up, 7 touchdown returns. So
okay. What I really liked yesterday, though, was Vrabel being completely dismissive of Felger when Felger mentioned his own high school football career, and that Vrabel gets a little right next door to bullying on this.
Did you play?
Yeah.
How long?
High school.
You played through high school?
Small school.
Okay, so you hear this? Did you play? How long? Like he doesn't believe him from the outset.
Did you play?
Yeah.
How long?
High school.
You played through high school?
Small school. Small little private high school.
Do you have where?
I was a tight end. I had elite hand-eye coordination, Mike. If I had,
do you have any highlights?
Yeah.
How many touchdowns?
I was 4th in the county in receptions my senior year.
How many touchdowns?
3. I fumbled.
3?
Listen, okay, here's my high school football story.
I had 2 in one game one time.
Well, you played at Ohio State.
And
you're also in the NFL.
You're also a professional football player.
Yeah, this is what you do.
Yeah. See, I can't do what you do, and you can't do what I do. That's how it works.
Yeah. You talked on the radio for an hour once. I talk for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, so let's just all stay in our own lane, shall we?
Yeah, it's like you're talking. Vrabel's getting interviewed by Harvey Firestein. Like, have you ever done Torch Song Trilogy? Have you ever stood up in front of a conservative audience in Alabama and done the gay scenes? Have you? Were you ever in drama?
Well, yeah, I did my 8th grade play.
All through 8th grade.
Well, I did one play in 8th grade.
How many standing ovations did you get? How many oohs? How many ahs? How many people that fell in love with the theater? Go ahead. Because for me, the answer is infinite.
I guess it should be news that Vrabel's kind of a dick.
You should have gone. You should have gone back at him, John, and just been like, "Well, can you play the clarinet?
Yeah.
What chair were you?
That's right.
All through high school.
First chair win ensemble.
You break me down your high school football career.
And then Felger.
What if you didn't play football? You played like baseball. Then get out of here. You
no,
son of a
sissy
bitch.
sport baseball.
You know what? Let's get into the Elliott Wolf stuff next.
Okay.
We covered Vrabel. We'll do Elliott Wolf here in a minute.
Elliott Wolf, who again was dressed like an idiotic dolt.
You don't like his shirt, and that makes him some kind of a half-wit?
He's dressed like the nerd from a 1980s movie in high school.
I wouldn't even say that. He's dressed like your friend.
Easy glass houses.
Who better to critique his wardrobe
How many
than
swirlies
me?
did you get in high school? The whole high school?
2. I got 2 in a day.
I have empirical knowledge of this particular matter.
Did you ever go
Harvey.
out of town with like a group of friends, and then there's like one night you're going out to a club, and then like one of your friends shows up dressed like Elliot Wolf, and you're like, look, now no one's getting laid. We're all going to be associated with you, stupid, with your dumb shirt and your undershirt. Stupid.
Doesn't even have a good pattern on it.
It's like, what? It's not even complicated at all. Gee whiz. I mean, if we're going to go out, I mean, I at least mix it up a little bit, get a little complicated. I solved this pattern in 10 seconds. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines. Toucher and Hardy yesterday. Today, everyone's they're all in on these NFL meetings. And Elliot Wolf talked. He talked to Felger too. Felger got there early, and good on him. He did a yeoman's job. He did a great job. Yeoman's work, great job. Talking to Elliot Wolf and to Mike Vrabel, that was excellent of him. And we have some highlights here.
We do, and I guess maybe we should mention this just because it's happening right now. Robert Kraft is kind of doing his informal in front of the
breakers.
the bushes there, just talking about stuff. He said the last 2 years have been really difficult, the worst 2 years of our ownership. And he says, I hope we are never drafting fourth again in my lifetime. So he's well aware that things have not been going well, and he's making indications now to a group of reporters. I see Tommy Curran standing there. I see Karen Garigian that we'll get sound from this here in a little while. But, he's well aware of the situation of the team right now and called it the worst 2 years of the ownership. So I don't know that anyone would disagree with him. All right, yesterday, as Fred just said, Elliot Wolf talking with Michael Felger. Felger getting to the bottom of things right away.
All right, welcome back to the owners' meetings in Palm Beach. We're now joined by Elliot Wolf of the Patriots. I forgot the exact title. I'm sorry.
Executive Vice President of Player Personnel.
Okay.
All right.
/Scout.
/Scout. Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time. How's this offseason going?
It's going great.
What executive?
Yeah, I know you work here. What's your title again?
What exactly? What is it you say you do here? Because
someone give Felge flashcards.
Yeah, I mean, think
in
of him
fairness, they don't. This organization is so weird with giving out titles.
Right.
Like, who cares? Like, yeah, every other team's got a general manager, and they don't. And so, I mean, well, how's Felger supposed to know what to call the guy?
You're going to talk to the guy.
He was mesmerized by his complicated shirt.
Just give him like a one sheet or something. I don't know.
All right, so
he was there alone. I mean, what do you want from the guy?
Just a Google search.
I don't put that.
Wikipedia.
I put that on the Patriots. I don't put that on Felger at all. At all. I wouldn't know what the hell to call Elliot Wolf.
Let's
dress poorly.
You're going to have to get past that shirt. It's going to keep bothering you all off season.
Yeah, it's going to haunt me.
All right.
I can't respect the man anymore, and that's hard because I have daily dealings with him.
Yeah. What do you want, Elliot?
What do you want? Yeah, the guy's got short arms. You can't take them.
No. What do you want in terms of players on the team?
Again, with an emphasis in speed at the linebacker position, speed, really speed overall, team speed has been something that we've been looking to address for a period of time, and we've put together a group of guys that we think can do that.
Speed, greasy, fast Italian speed. Speed is what we need.
Yeah, we've bought a series of chickens.
That's right.
We're going to have them chase them, and that is what we will do.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
We're going to be multiple. It's not just straight up 3-4.
That won an Oscar for Best Picture, by the way.
No, that was Rocky 2.
Yeah, that was the second one. That wasn't.
Oh, I thought Rocky
Oscar.
won one.
No,
Rocky won the Oscar.
But
he chased the chicken in Rocky 2.
For some reason, Mickey
bad.
is wearing like a hat with like a chicken feather in it while Rocky is chasing things around.
Mickey dies, and they can't get a doctor into the room, even though he's at Madison Square Garden at a fight.
Yeah. He just sits
I
there
would venture
dying
that
on the
there's
table for 15 minutes.
1,000 doctors at that event.
Yeah.
Well,
they couldn't get through the media scrum.
Not only is it, and at some point he is dying, but it's like, we got to get him to the hospital. Okay, just let me lay here and speak softly to him for about 3 more minutes.
No, no more doctors. Can't get a doctor.
No, I think that it was like the media had descended upon him, and they were so. I think this is actually what the point they were making is that they were like so savage that like a doctor couldn't get through. Is the point that Rocky's phenomenon had become so much it cost him his mentor and friend. Discuss that after the show. Take that home with you.
Now I know what the post-show meeting is going to be about. All right, what else do you want?
We're going to be multiple. It's not just straight up 3-4.
No, you already said that. Oh.
What do you got, cloning devices?
He said they want speed and violence. That's what they're looking for.
And nothing expresses those two things like Elliot Wolf.
Okay, so what makes a player violent?
Just knockback, intensity, effort, play style, strength, and explosion at the point of attack. In
Leather
addition
jacket.
to, range and speed.
Chain wallet.
Aggressive forward-leaning posture. Even standing on the sideline. I want those guys dipped over, into that big, thick white line. I don't know what you call it, but I want them this close to being told to get back.
Kind of guy that calls you chief. We sue them if they put their feet up on the table and call us teach. We know that. Guys that look in the mirror to comb their hair and then realize it's perfect.
I want a rookie to come in here and call Vrabel Daddy-O. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, guys that really get a jukebox going without a quarter.
Just not afraid to rumble. We're going to get out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Again, in a perfect world, you have guys that can do both. Now, maybe that's not quite as realistic,
This is about the offensive line, what they're going to do. What if you get a left tackle that can't play left tackle in the NFL?
Oh, boy. The idea that they're addressing this. All right, go ahead.
Again, in a perfect world, you have guys that can do both. Now, maybe that's not quite as realistic. Having a guy like, Onwenu is probably going to be the right guard. So, having a guy like him that's maybe not quite as movement oriented. He's more, he's a good athlete, but he's not a runner. So, we'll just do whatever we think we can to gain yards that week.
What?
I'm not sure what.
He just said Uwenu is slow. I mean, that's all he basically said there.
He said he's a stay-at-home right guard.
Yeah, and he just got done talking about how fast he wants everyone to be.
He's not a ball-moving right guard. No.
Stay-at-home.
Yeah,
Yeah, he won't pull.
Stay-home offensive lineman.
Don't worry about him. He ain't pulling.
His only direction is forward.
Right.
Yeah. The whole left side of the line, that's what it is. He ain't moving over there. He ain't. We run to the left. There ain't a pulling guard. Let's just tell you that.
Pass protection in doses.
Yeah.
What about the run? No.
We're looking for fast guys. Except at right guard. We like them real slow. Dumb too.
Not violent.
That's right.
Yeah, not violent, like a big silly dope, like a harmless fool.
Think Mongo in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. Just a real waste.
He's someone you would not invite to your home. That's who I want.
Elliot Wolf, and I've defended him. Like, you can't. I mean, he's only had one draft, whatever. This guy does not exude excellence. I just can tell you that, and it's unfair. But
I think it's unfair to put all of this on him because of the shirt. And you're really ramping up your Elliot Wolf vitriol today based on the shirt you saw him wear yesterday.
Oh, I don't know if it's vitriol. It is sympathy almost.
I don't know that it is either because I'm not sure what that word means. But I feel.
I don't hate him, or I don't think he should be fired or anything. I just don't know how he got the job. He's so unimpressive. Like, he's just like a really unimpressive guy.
What happened with Jalen Polk, Elliot?
We moved him around a little bit, put him in a position where...
what did you do? Have him playing defense? I mean, what do you mean you moved him around? Played wide receiver.
Well, yeah, but sometimes they had him on the other side.
Yeah, he's the X. You can't teach an X guy to play Z. That's never happened.
Thank you, Wallach.
Going to do a lot.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Shush.
Positions at once, which can be difficult for anyone, let alone a rookie. We're still excited about what he can do. You see the talent. You saw it on the practice field as the season
field
as the season wore on. Again, he's overcoming a rehab and an injury right now that we're hopeful that
we've all been there, baby.
Be a contributor for us.
Okay.
So far, I'm wildly impressed. I can't wait for football season.
Yeah. Well, he puts the Polk thing in. I'm not cutting up here. He puts the Polk thing entirely on coaching. Like, he always points to development with Polk. Like, he's talented, but they didn't develop him. He didn't look talented.
Give Vrabel credit too. I mean, they asked him about it yesterday, and he's like, "I don't care what happened last year.
Yeah.
It's fine." Which, in a way, is saying those guys sucked. Let's see what happens when I get a hold of them.
Yeah, they're putting a lot on the coaching staff and lack of development, and good. They should. Their schedule's super easy. They got their home schedule is a joke. So
all right, two quick ones here about the two players we probably talked about the most in terms of this draft, Campbell and Travis Hunter.
I think Mike said this morning that you guys see Campbell as a tackle, even with those arms.
Tackle or guard.
Tackle or guard.
Either. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can't take them.
All right. So there's Will Campbell. All right. What about Travis Hunter?
I think he's, playing at Colorado, no offense to anyone, playing at Colorado is a little different than playing up here. So at 180 pounds or whatever he is, I think it'd be asking a lot to have him play full-time both ways. But that's not to say, like, with any player, if they can handle something, we'll have him do it.
Yeah, you're not getting them. All right. Very good. Thank you to Felger for going out there. That was great work by him, and that's all up on YouTube. As is on Instagram, our video of Guy from Machine. If you've ever wondered what he looked like, it's up at Toucher and Hardy and at Fred Toucher, which is still hovering at 26,000 followers. I'm going to be without a job and without any followers. Please, for the love of all things healthy, please. All right, when we come back, Terrence Howard, one of my favorites. We just found out he not so big genitalia, but we will hear what he had to say. We'll do that in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
victory in Tennessee. That's 9 straight wins overall and a sweep of their 6-game road trip. Al Horford scored 26 points for the Green. His team has won 32 of 39 games on the road this season.
I just think that, we've been, very focused. And even last year, we were good. And especially in the playoffs, I felt like we did a really good job on the road, controlling the tempo, being able to play a certain way. And yeah, it's pretty special, the way that we're playing and some of the things that we're doing.
Celtics will be back home tomorrow night to play Miami. The Red Sox have signed new lefty ace Garrett Crochet to a 6-year, $170 million contract extension. There is an opt-out after year 5. The bad news is that before Crochet signed the contract, the Red Sox lost their 4th in a row, 8-5 in Baltimore. Jarren Duran, 2 hits and 3 RBIs to lead the offense. Seeing 2 teams will play again at Camden Yards tomorrow night. Bruins will try to snap an 8-game losing streak when they come back home to play the Washington Capitals tonight. Charlie McAvoy participated in practice without a red non-contact jersey on yesterday, but there's still no timetable for his return. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots owner Robert Kraft told the media a few minutes ago Bill Parcells will be inducted into the team's Hall of Fame as a contributor, and the NFL yesterday approved the move that would allow the ability to flex games to Thursday night with a 3-week notice. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines the day after the Red Sox win, and you get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher.
The internet and stuff like that.
No, because the show that I ended up sort of like getting into that was kind of a mismatch of an old show that was very successful, and then they got something happened. I've been sued. Something happened with one of the hosts, and I took over for that host. For some reason, they stopped their working relationship, whether that been maybe it was a mutual decision. And they used to do these stupid April Fool's bits. I will say that. They did one where Clark Howard, who you guys know, the consumer repair, knew it was fake. Like, no one believed Clark Howard was fighting Barnes. Like, it was really dumb. And then it all... like this entirely fake thing, and they wanted people to believe it, because when they first started in like the early 90s, they had great success because they said, oh, there's this invisible, I'm sure other stations did this, there's an invisible amusement park, or there's a new amusement park somewhere, and like it's opening today, and a bunch of people went there, and there was no amusement park, and it like was in the paper or something. I don't know. So no, I never did any of that stuff because the trail had been absolutely arson, just burnt down by the time I got there. Big news, if you consider this big news. Bob Kraft, when he talked today, said that him and Bill Parcells have buried the hatchet, and Bill Parcells will walk into the hallowed halls of the New England Patriots Hall of Fame, which is located somewhere. And,
next to Gillette Stadium. It's right there.
The Hall of Patriot Place, presented by Raytheon.
It's right there.
My daughter has been
Maybe
there.
you should go in and give it a
My
visit.
my son was there for a school field trip, or I think in the fall.
Yeah, it was a camp trip. She went to the Patriots Hall of Fame, and she was very impressed by the amount of Scott Zolak merchandise on display.
Yeah.
All right, well, what else is very impressive is our friend Terrence Howard. Now, Terrence Howard had a thing on Joe Rogan. He was a guest on Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Wake up. Oh, that's my friend. But I had a different name for it. It was my hand.
Yeah, he's talking about in utero, his memories of being in utero himself. Before he was born, him in the womb, he remembers his hand.
A lot of talk of, math and lines and how straight lines don't really exist.
Straight lines. Vision, dreams, curved dots that make it up.
Right. geometry, math, science. He claims to hold patents on hundreds of products and inventions, and he's talking with a couple of people here, Fred, who seem to be down with what he's talking about.
Who's the guy that is the famous scientist now that is on TV? Because remember, he sent like a thesis to the guy, and the guy didn't accept it. Yeah.
Neil deGrasse
Tyson. He said Terrence Howard sent him this thing, this like theory, the long thing, right? This like whole paper.
Yeah.
And the guy was nice enough, the scientist, to go through it and like make notes.
Yeah, I think he called it like a peer review, which is something that is, I guess commonplace among academics. It's like, all right, I got this idea, I've got this, theory or this equation I've worked out. You guys take a look at it. And he treated it as like a serious thing, and it is. He's not without. This isn't all nonsense. When Tyson pointed out, it's like, okay, the problem here is you make this leap here, from one mathematical, equation to the next, and you can't. A does not equal B here. You can't make that leap. So that's where the entire thing falls apart.
And Terrence Howard did not like that. No. Terrence Howard thought that was the establishment coming after him, these academics.
But he's got ideas, and Fred, you have these. I believe one of them has to deal with the idea of using a certain technique for radioactive waste.
Jeffy and I, we just wrote a paper on a neutrino gun that's able to reduce or increase the amount of radioactive decay so that things can get back to a normal state. But I've got another state that makes it much easier that another patent that Chris and I have done, where you can actually refold that nuclear waste back into its natural state in a simple way, just with pressure. Because remember,
if you guys could demonstrate that, because nuclear is a fantastic option if you can deal with the junk.
He has a gun. He has
a neutrino gun.
It's a neutrino gun.
So he has a
Try
gun.
And keep up.
Yeah, it's like on the Jetsons. He has a neutrino gun, and he zaps the radiation with more radiation, and it becomes
in a simple way.
Right.
And then he can fold it onto itself. Well, look, maybe he's
refold that nuclear waste.
Yes.
You can actually refold that nuclear waste back into its natural state, just with pressure. Refold it back.
Do you get it?
No, I don't. I get under pressure.
If you can deal with the junk.
Yeah, just deal with the junk. So you've got
nuclear is a great option if there's no consequence for using it.
And you got the gun,
a neutrino gun.
Yeah,
I knew when I saw Big Mama's House and Terrence Howard was in it. I was like, this guy could pull one over on us.
Nuclear is a fantastic option.
It's a fantastic option.
There's a guy and a girl on this podcast, and they are just a lot of nodding. It's like, yes, finally someone is saying it.
A neutrino gun.
Yes.
And thank God this podcast exists, because where would we be without it? All right, and they continue.
Oh, you guys don't want to be a part of the future. Okay, then we'll build our own breakaway society, and we will use this technology and become the new Atlanteans. Or Numerians, because it has happened before.
What do you got?
Hail Atlantis.
We will use this technology and become the new Atlanteans. The future.
I just love Donovan.
Hail Atlantis.
So he's saying that these scientists, they're saying skedaddle with your theories. So he's going to take his theories and move to a new planet and create his own society.
Become the new Atlanteans.
Yeah. Flipping the bird at society. I'm building
we'll build our own breakaway society.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll talk to the fish.
I'll
live under the water and talk to the fish. I'll be a man. an Aquaman.
You guys don't want to use
a neutrino gun
to get this, nuclear waste.
refold that nuclear waste.
Right. Then we'll break away. We'll do our own thing.
Yeah.
We'll build our own breakaway society.
Yeah. Under the water.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hail Atlantis.
I'm a man. A plastic man. I can reach for things very far away. I have my own society.
But, Fred, it's always looking toward the future.
You guys don't want to be a part of the future.
And we all know what the future, is for, Fred. It's not necessarily for us. It's for the ones who will come after us.
Yes. Okay. This is a graduate of the Pratt Institute, and he goes along with the great Rob Zombie, and this is what he has to say.
And people are now coming and joining, and the proof is getting out there. The truth is getting out there. We're going to turn a lot of these things into toys so that children can play with. We're writing books. I'm no longer trying to teach the adults you cannot fill a glass that's already full, but the children.
I wish my children were younger. You're very fortunate, Nick, because now your child can play with radiation. Finally, the child's toy is available.
Teach the children. We're going to turn a lot of these things into toys so that children can play with radioactive decay.
We're on the same page.
You and Terrence Howard, lockstep, Fred.
Yeah, I'm going to take. What could go wrong? I'm going to take all the children and put them in a society with me.
I don't blame you.
It's an organization. I think we'll call it NAMBLA.
Look at what we just did.
Be safe.
What? No, he's going to take all the kids and he's going to move and start his own society.
I know. Howard used to play the voicemail when you called that NAMBLA hotline.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrifying.
Oh, no, I can't even listen to that stuff. Like, whenever that's on, I got to turn it. All right. And Terrence Howard has got more to say. He is a man of science, and he continues.
So now what? What you want to do? Prove my point. Look at what we just did. We just solved a 300-year-old problem. We just freed up a whole lot of minds.
By the way, there's no birds there. That's just actually a audio representation of what's flying around his head. He's been knocked in the head with a hammer.
But the same stuff that you said was bathwater. I don't blame you. It does seem like something from out of this planet,
So he's describing something that looks like bathwater, and he's saying you can't wrap your mind around it because it looks like...
You're gonna throw, metaphorically, maybe you're ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Who knows?
Because if he's saying it looks like bathwater, but you can't conceptualize what you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's a seed that turns into a beanstalk.
Yeah.
And up there's a giant with a pot of gold. You gotta fight the giant. You understand? There's this 3 wolves.
But you don't want to fight wolves and a giant.
I don't blame you.
They're gonna blow your house down. There's a big bird. He's friends with a snuffleupagus.
Maybe it is. But 3-body problem has been solved. Look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Third body problem.
The body problem?
Third body problem.
The third body problem. I don't know what that is. Male breasts, and they have a new way to get a technology that can laser those off.
Okay.
All right. Do you know what he was doing there?
With the third body problem?
Yeah.
No, that's the name of a TV show, but I can't understand.
It's a physics astronomy concept.
Uh-huh.
I'll let you know.
How do you know that?
Because I read the books and then I've just looked it up because I figured you guys would want to know.
You've read the books?
I read the Three Body Problem book. It's fiction, but based on this whole idea of
Wait a second. He's talking about something fictionalized?
Yeah, determining the motion of three celestial bodies interacting under their gradual forces.
How do we stabilize 3 gravitational objects or predict what their orbits might be?
And he's got it figured out. So good for him.
All right. Well, he seems to. It's a fictional book, you said?
Well, there is a book of fiction called The Three Body Problem, loosely based on the physics and astronomy concept.
Yeah.
So who knows? I think there's a bit of fact and fiction in what's happening in his brain right now. Maybe he's mixing the two together.
Well, I have a radioactive spider. That when it bites you, you can shoot webs.
In a simple way.
We solved the Spider-Man problem.
With pressure.
We solved the problem of man taking flight and man having supervision.
Nuclear is a fantastic option.
It's called the Superman. All right. Well, look, Terrence Howard is doing a lot of good things, and it's good that if you're in a movie, anyone will entertain your insanity. They'll just let you say whatever you want.
They just won't let you back into the movies. Like he was, could have lived the rest of his life on that Iron Man money, but he was too much of a problem. And Don Cheadle, oh, you're not a problem, Don? Good, you come in here.
Yeah, I have to imagine he's a bit of a problem on the set.
Yeah,
I got to think that he's. That's not an easy guy to.
You don't need a dolly for that camera.
I know.
Gravity is a myth. Just chuck him off the building.
Instead of shooting with a camera, we should shoot with a
neutrino gun.
No, you can use real ammunition in these guns. I've developed anti-bullet technology. Whoopsies, I forgot to turn it on. Sorry, Mr. Baldwin. Oh. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. If you want to get in touch with us via email, just go to 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us and see what the guy from Machine looks like in action at Toucher and Hardy on Instagram. And, John, you're always curious, so I like to keep you up to date. I don't do it for my own reasons. I do it exclusively for you. I could care less.
Okay.
Wink. Oh, I don't have 26,000. I have 20. How many followers did I have the last time we talked?
24 and change.
I thought it was
you would
25
hit 25,
and
I
change.
thought.
Yeah,
I thought
25,
yeah.
6.
Well, I
or
don't have
something like
25
that.
anymore.
What do you got?
24,731.
See, I thought you were still at 24 and change. There's no way you lost 1,000 followers.
Yeah, I don't think I lost 1,000 followers. I have 24,731. Yeah, I'm up 0.3%. I got to start making videos of me and Hardy standing on his doorstep post-haste. Because those are the ones that seem to hit home. I don't understand how this whole thing works. By the way, I'm not going to read it because it's real long, but I got a lovely email, and John and Hardy and Adam, for that matter, those of you that have been in radio your whole life, that people have grown up listening to your voices.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I got a lovely email from a guy who he'd been listening since high school, and now he's a doctor now. And throughout that whole time, he was getting bad grades, and he started waking up in the morning specifically to hear the show, and and then he would go to the library and listen to the show. And he didn't even have to go to school anymore because he was learning so much. No, but it was a beautiful email. I truly appreciate it. I wrote him back.
Wow.
And imagine how he felt when he got that email from me.
His life had been validated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is he getting other people to listen now, too?
People are now coming and joining.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the first guy that I lead to Atlanti, the new Atlantanians.
Become the new Atlanteans.
All right. I did respond to Sarah from Everett. She said, why do you hate me? And I said, I don't. That was my response to her. And then she sent an email back, and let me see if I can find it because I actually have a lot today. She said, you say, oh gosh, every time my name is mentioned, at least you aren't like Wallach with his JC blasphemy 3 times a week minimum.
What?
And yesterday you hoped I wouldn't make it to the finals.
What?
And I haven't sent you a mean email to you in years. In the famous Noob Jack Styles of New Edition, let's be friends. So that's Sarah from Everett in a...
we were worried about what was going to go on. Blind Scott has started emailing.
Well, less said the better about one of Blind Scott's recent emails.
But yeah, the mere mention of him this morning, the fact that we hadn't received emails,
and that Hardy made me look,
prompted a flurry of emails from Scott.
You went and said Beetlejuice, and look what happened. 3 times. 3 times you said it. Look what happened.
He said he's actually stopped because
Scott sent us a semi-nude photo of himself.
Yes. But he said he stopped emailing because he thought that you hated him.
Yeah, I don't think I think he was joking.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was,
he also offered to join he also offered to drive the golf cart when you race the golf cart.
Yeah. No.
See, it'd be funny because he would run you over because he can't.
Yeah.
I think he could go. I think he's overestimating the humor. I mean, just because he's blind doesn't mean he can't hit an accelerator and go 40 yards. Or whatever the hell we're supposed to be doing. This is from Ben. Hey, guys, love the Elliot Wolf stuff. I hear he's been spending all his per diem at Dan Flash's. It's when you look at Elliot Wolf, you go in there. Just FYI, Foggy's bit with Wolf's title was 100% on purpose. On the show, on the afternoon show, he repeatedly joked that Wolf is only coming into work to turn on and off the lights, and he's going to be fired the day after the draft is through. He was definitely being coy. Great show as always. Yeah, he was being coy. And that's the thing, is that he was screwing with him. All right, Dave says you guys definitely don't need any validation from me, but the show is killing it. Everything is working right now. The bits are great. The actual sports talk has been great. No thanks to Wallach, he said. No, I'm just kidding. The actual sports talk is great. The music beds are great.
Hey,
thank you.
12.
The guests have all developed storylines and are all pretty likable. You guys are in the zone. The way that radio and sports talk in general is going, I'm not sure how many great shows like this will be put together like this again. It's hard to do. I really think this will be the last great radio show of our lifetime. I need it to work, and I need it to work for a long time for my sanity.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of pressure.
Man.
There is a tremendous lack of talent coming into the industry. That much I can tell you. That much I can tell you. If you're a young broadcaster and you want to be in sports talk and you want to be on the radio, now is the time, my friend. And don't worry so much about your podcast. Now, making videos apparently can help you. In all seriousness, I guess they like that, but your podcast is of no use to you. You get a job at a radio station. You get on the air. Listen to this place. You get on the air. Believe me. Not so hard.
Yeah.
Tom emailed me. He said, Hardy, looking for a new pressure washer for some home projects, deck, siding, fence, patio. How much PSI do I need? Is there a maximum to get?
Do what in my eye?
No. PSI, it's...
No, it's not what you're thinking.
It's a pressure rating for pressure washers.
Yes, lots of pressure. I'm garbage. Fold me over.
You can go electric, and they're great for smaller projects.
You are such a pussy with this electric stuff.
You can go electric, and it's great
Musk.
for small projects. I have gas and electric power washers, and the electric one is made by Steel, and it's fine, and it's great for light duty stuff. If you're serious and you need to really clean stuff, get the gas.
Is it after you eat cotton candy?
Get the gas, and you're going to have the higher
light
PSI,
duty.
and that's get the gas, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. That's what I would
All
say.
right, so you have two pressure washers. Now, what do you pressure wash?
The front porch that you and I stood on.
It was a hit, and I'm not joking.
Wow.
That was a big video for us.
The back deck. And I will also use it. You know what? I'll have it out a couple of times a year. I do my garage floor with it every spring.
Okay.
After,
Do you squeegee it after?
Yes, I have a squeegee for
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's nice.
Do you have something that you push the water and then you squeegee it over? Because that would be a good thing. You would remove all the standing water, and then you could squeegee it dry.
The garage floor clean, which will be happening here probably in the next several weeks.
Will you make your son help?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a good sweep. I'll go in there with a blower and blow more stuff out. I'll sweep again, and then it's just a pressure wash. You start at the back and you push all the water out, and then you squeegee any remaining water out, and you just leave them doors open, let it dry.
How many hooks on the wall in the garage?
I can't even tell you how many.
Yeah. Son goes out.
More cubbies than hooks.
Okay, son goes out. He uses something that's in the garage. You come back. It's not.
Would never happen.
Okay.
The boy knows
scooter
better.
or a bike or something that he would use.
Kind of past that age now. He's all done with it. But the scooter did not go on a hook. That was always kind of left at ground level.
Okay. Did it have a place?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What if it was in the wrong place? Would there be a talking to?
Well, he would be pulled out of whatever screen trance he was in. Sometimes awakened from his slumber to put it back in the right place.
Yeah. We have different experiences with our children. My daughter called me hysterical last night because her mother said she would get her food from a particular place if she walked the dog. That was it. Hysterical. In a fit of rage. She called me because her mother dared say in exchange for this particular food item that you want, you would have to put a leash on the dog and walk the dog. And I said, why don't you just put a leash on the dog and walk her outside? And you go, I don't want to.
And instead she called you to complain about the mistreatment?
Yes.
Wow.
And I had so much advice to give her. I put the phone on speaker and I watched television.
See, I don't. First of all, I don't think it's all that uncommon, and it happens in our house. But they don't have to make a phone call; they just go into the other room.
No.
Can you believe that Mommy asked me to empty the dishwasher?
Yeah,
I'm like, I can. I can't believe that you're not doing it.
I am in the position of hero, and she's like, call Mom, and I'm like, I'm not calling your mom. Your mom's asking you to do a simple thing. Like, I'm not gonna. What do you want me to call your mom? Stephanie, I heard you asked Zoe to walk the dog. Going to
see
my
you in
attorney.
court. Yeah.
See you in court, lady.
Tell me if this one bothers anybody here. And rest assured, you will not be bothered by the end of it. Brett said, "Hey, Hardy, sitting here on my couch waiting for my mulch delivery to arrive this morning. Guy has already called to say he's on the way. Adrenaline is pumping. Just wanted to see how jacked up you would be if you were me. Love the show. Been listening since the very beginning, Brett." And I said, "Brett, I'm excited, but also nervous. Little early, isn't it? For the mulch?" He said, "Fear not. I live in Georgia."
Oh, okay.
Okay.
When is the average date up here? Is it May 1st?
I did mulch end of March one year. It was
You've told this story, by the way.
I'm going to tell it again.
No,
so shush.
I'm not telling you to. I'm not telling
Now
you
I'm
to
going to
stop.
make it longer.
No, that's not what I was doing. I'm just saying I was not stopping you. I was just letting you know.
Well, it still haunts me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It obviously haunts
He's
you. Go
paying
ahead.
attention to your story.
I'm
You
out
should
of
be
the
happy
way.
about
I'm
this.
out of the way. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Take
I
your
can't
time.
wait. Let's hear it.
The year was 2020.
Okay.
We had found out mid-March that the world was going into lockdown.
Right.
Due to the coronavirus. We all got sent home,
Mm-hmm.
if you'll remember. Couldn't come to work, couldn't leave. 2 weeks to stop the spread. What are you going to do for 2 weeks? I did a lot. I got a lot of nervous energy, John. Cleaned out the attic, cleaned out a storage room in the basement.
Went to
cleaned
rehab.
Stuff out of the got back on the sauce.
Got kicked out of one place, went to another.
Well, I didn't. I got kicked out because of COVID.
Wondered aloud to my wife if I should have one of those Coors Lights that's been in the fridge that we keep
That's
there
funny.
for company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alec
True
Baldwin.
story.
Alec Baldwin had a line that he wanted to use on the first COVID show of Saturday Night Live, where he said, "Hey, I haven't drank for 30 years, but my advice is start drinking." And to that, I would said, "I'm like, that wasn't good advice.
Yeah.
That wasn't good advice."
But also got the mulch at the end of March.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And kids were home from school. Actually, made the order, and that it was during the kids' spring break, I think, where the actual mulch showed up way too early. That, I mean, in addition to the ground really not being ready for, the super growing and all that stuff, if you just like the color and how it looks, it was faded by the end of June.
So I ask you again, what is the correct date? Is it May 1st? Is it Memorial Day? What are we looking at?
What am I? And the answer, man, I don't know.
Oh.
Later than now.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I can tell
you. Are not a self-proclaimed expert, but you have more knowledge than anyone else in this room. So I figured maybe you might have some advice.
I don't think I have the knowledge. I think I've made more mistakes, and I think that was a
that's
mistake.
where knowledge comes from.
Doing the mulch too early in 2020.
Well,
but the good news is the rest of that year was great.
Yeah, it was and well handled. And so, I mean, look at. Thank God for the people that put the wood on the basketball hoops. That would have been outrageous if people were outside playing basketball. But I'll tell you this, is that I have taken, and Adam will like this, I walk my dog in this park. It's like a woods. It's like a mile loop. I do it almost every day because I don't have to clean the crap up. Because if they crap in the woods off a trail, I'm not picking it up.
Yeah, thank you. Because what people do is they will bag the crap in the woods, then leave the crap in the bag in the woods, which is insane behavior. Just let the
here's
dump
what's
in the
insane.
woods.
Insane. What do you think the other animals in the woods
Right.
that aren't dogs are doing in there? You idiots! There's dead raccoons in that thing. It's nature, stupid. Now on the trail, I'd pick it up. Believe me, I got this dog long enough. I'm picking up the crap. That's no longer an issue. You can get off my back, esoteric. But I've taken to investigating the branches of the trees to see if they're budding.
I like this.
I am because I'm so depressed with this awful place.
You need to know that there is hope.
So I will look in every day. I will look at these particular bushes in the low hanging branches, and I will look to see where they are in their formation of the bud.
If you take me on a walk with you, I can tell you some of what they are. I can tell you this
That
one's
is
an
not so
oak
much
and this
of
one's
interest of me.
this one's a maple.
Well, listen, you're more than welcome to walk with me at any time, Adam.
So here's something you can do too, Fred. If you're fearful that buds are not coming on a certain branch, maybe the branch is dead. How do you find out if the branch is dead? Jen Nawada from Ask This Old House taught me this trick. You take your thumbnail and you just scrape a tiny piece of the bark off that branch. If it's green underneath, living. If it's brown, branch might be dead, and that's why it's ain't got no buds.
If it's green, it's keen. If it's brown, let's start a wildfire. You know? All right.
Mellow, let it yellow, let it mellow.
Yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
That's how we conserve water in our house.
Why? If it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, I'll buy it. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on?
Story from a couple of days ago, reprinted in the Boston Globe, courtesy of the Associated Press. A great lead here. A babysitter looked under a bed to reassure a worried child that there wasn't a monster hiding there, and came face to face with a man who wasn't supposed to be there. A sheriff's office in Kansas said in a news release. 27-year-old booked into jail this week after a struggle with the babysitter that knocked the child to the ground. Barton County Sheriff's
If you're
Office.
looking for the DA voice, this is not an appropriate place for it, but go ahead.
Yeah, it said deputies were called late Monday to the home of, in the city of around 15,000, Great Bend. Suspect was gone when they arrived, but the babysitter said the child had been complaining about a monster under the bed. The man once lived in the home, but that there was a protection from abuse order issued against him to stay away from the property.
Jesus.
Monster under the bed. Okay, I'm going to show you. There's no monster under here. Jesus, Jones.
The trauma from that.
Yeah, right?
Got to be unbelievable.
So up until that point, I would have said the clown under the bed and Poltergeist would have held that spot for me, which we watched the other night with the kids. Were like, what are you guys watching? It's like Poltergeist. Oh, this is the scariest part. This is the scariest part. The kids just laughed at all of it.
It's funny because that haunted a lot of people, and when I was a kid and saw it, I don't remember being scared at all. And the thing is because this is going to sound kind of dumb, but it makes sense to me. Like, it's something that could never happen. Like Sleepaway Camp. Now that was scary.
Yeah.
It looked all like horribly made and like bad film and everything like that. Like, it looked like they were real psychos making it. Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like people got hurt making that. Like it has like a snuff film, like kind of, I wouldn't know what a snuff film looks like, but it has that. It has that like grainy, like garbagey, like cheaply made thing. Like Poltergeist was just Coach. Before his career at the University of Minnesota, taking care of business.
Snuff films, not much in the way of plot is my chief complaint against them. Russian submarine, right? 6 Russian tourists were on board this submarine, which is a new
Probably
thing.
had sandals with socks on.
You can go on this submarine. Actually, it was closer to the Egyptian resort of Hurghada. Anyway, they're all dead. 6 Russian tourists killed on Thursday after a viewing submarine sank. Major General Amir Hanafi confirmed the deaths in an update on the Red Sea's governance officials' Facebook page. Nice to confirm the deaths on a Facebook page. There were 45 passengers, including tourists from Russia, India, Norway, and Sweden when the incident occurred. Apart from the 6 Russians, all the other tourists had been rescued. Now, how do some die on a submarine while others live? That is the question.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that's always been
There's no scrambling the safety.
That's always been my issue with a submarine, is that if you're on an airplane and something goes wrong, all right, you're going to come back to the ground. Probably not in the fashion that you want, but at least you'll be coming back to Earth. On a submarine, if something goes catastrophically wrong, you sink to the bottom of the ocean and you die. Right?
Yep.
That'd be my issue with it. Anyway, apparently this thing could go 82 feet down for 40 minutes, and that there's just stuff to look at down there. But apparently, it was an oxygen issue, and some people must have suffocated. All right, great. Swell.
That's the submarine is no. That's along the lines of caves.
That's a hard.
Nope. Hard.
See, I think you go a little bit overboard with the whole tunnel fear. Submarine, no, not doing it.
I'm not like deathly afraid when I'm in the tunnel going to the airport. I just find it Like if I was stuck underneath it, it would bug me. Like I wouldn't like lose my mind. A cave, like again, people get in these caves and start fooling around in these like squeezing through small areas, and once you're stuck, dude, they broke all that guy's bones trying to get him out of it. So they broke his bones so he'd be more malleable, and they still couldn't get him out. So he just sat there dying.
With a bunch of broken bones.
And I don't think they like shoot you full of morphine and stuff, you know, like they're not, you're 5 miles underground and 6 miles like from the hole you came down. Like, I don't think it's much of a medical team getting down there. That's the thing. You jump out of a plane and the chute doesn't open. What do you got, like 8 seconds before you hit the ground? And then you probably pass out before that. Like you probably realize
you're going to die
out.
of a heart attack.
Yeah.
On your way down.
The cave. And then you ask for it, too. It's the real problem with that. And there's like water down there and you're dying of drowning. Like you're asking for it. So if we're ever on vacation, any of you out there, if I join like your older Explorers Club, AARP Explorers Club, and you want to go spelunking or whatever it's called, no.
What about orienteering?
I don't know what that is.
You get out in the woods, you get a compass, you find your way around.
No, but not for fear. That would just be fear of boredom. I wouldn't be afraid to be in the woods. Did I tell you real quick? My friend was walking in the woods alone, like somewhere around like Concord, and there was shoes and a shirt next to this little pond. And he walked up to see what was going on, and a savagely angry hobo came after him. A real bum, was bathing in the creek and had left his belongings on the side and did not care for my friend stumbling upon him. So a nude hobo, he swears to God this is true. I don't know why he'd make it up. And this is not long ago, like 2 months ago, or not 2 months ago, in the summer. And the guy apparently nude hobo.
Where was this?
Maybe not. He walks in Concord all the time, but this might have been in New Hampshire. But it was in the Northeast, and he was on some like dumb hike by himself.
12. You ever run into this guy?
No, it sounds like 12.
No, but I have stumbled upon a couple copulating at the Fells up in the Fells once.
Huh.
So there are hobos.
Oh yeah,
correct?
yeah. I mean, if he was in Concord, I mean the train runs through there, so
I think it might have been whatever. I just know he goes up to Concord, and then he says it's not far.
I believe him.
He was a leather tramp. He wasn't riding the rails. He was just.
Oh, did the guy from Machine ever talk about your rough trade mustache?
No, we never brought it up.
Damn it! I knew I'd forget something. That's what happens when you're an hour late. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a hi, Scott.